Hello and
Yes,
welcome
Rich, did you
along
not hear
to
me?
episode... No, we didn't. Episode 27.
Wow.
27? 28? 28? 28. Yeah, welcome along to episode 28 of Beldania. Today I have playing with me Bruno.
Hey, I'm playing Alessia McPherson, a human fighter.
I have Joe.
Yes, and I am playing Hennick Littlefield, the humble halfling farmer and bard.
I have Rico.
I am Rico, and I'm playing Torn Goldenbrand, the Dragonborn Paladin with a Heart of Gold.
I've got Jamal.
Guys, I'm playing Chiavo, the only in Order of Describes wizard, and this douchebag here called the DM's playing, what's his name, Theseus.
Theseus, yes.
Theseus.
And I have Josh.
I am Josh. I will be playing Sebastian Belmont, the human switchbody house cat abjuration wizard.
It's been a long time since I voiced Theseus. I can't even remember if I know what his voice is. Anyway,
That's been a little while.
we left off with the group having travelled down. This keyboard, that is, you are rattling my ears. Thank you. We went a travelling and took a boat from the great land of Yurak State onwards down the beautiful river, which, if you remember, the river bed was rife with various plants of blue and green and red and yellow and orange. As we travelled, Hennick spent 8 hours casting plant growth, ostensibly to... that makes it sound like it's the only thing we've done. There's been plenty of other things that have happened, but most recently, as we travelled, Hennick spent 8 hours casting plant growth on his on the plants within his cart. However, it had some unintentional effects, part of which is to make this beautiful plant growth under the water look even more spectacular. Part of which is to increase the bounty of the riverbank vegetation for all those that live along the riverbank. And part of it was to summon a huge desert worm on a local village. But that's okay, because the group went and chopped that bastard up and made sure that the village was protected from any evil. And as they got back on the boat, they travelled down the short distance to... Oh my goodness. They travelled down the short distance to Ciran, where they had intended to make a trading stop. And as they sort of jumped off in Ciran, it was very, very early in the morning. So this image is probably a little bit inaccurate, but nevertheless. Oh. Okay, we're going back to the title screen. Off we go. Whoop. Gotta stop the music. As we arrived at the little town of Ciran, it was, I don't know, sort of 5:30 in the morning, I would guess. Very, very early. And as such, the town of Ciran hadn't really come together. You will see that there are 3 permanent brick buildings, each made of the yellow desert sandstone. And unlike those of the shifters, they are not set down into the ground. These are quite grandiose buildings. The first looks like it's a temple of some sort. And indeed, crested across the top of this building is a constellation of stars, which Chiavo will swiftly identify as Andromeda for you, who is the placer of stars in the sky. If the constellation had a leader in their religion, it would be Andromeda. Each tribe in the Leonin lands tend to follow a different constellation, but Andromeda is sort of respected by all, as without Andromeda their constellation would not be where it is in the sky, right? Andromeda is seen as the creator of it. So there is a temple to Andromeda, which seems relatively abandoned at this time of day. But there are 2 other buildings. One is a short, squat building, and outside it, it sort of crests over. The roof is a lot longer than the rest of the building, creating a sort of overhang. And underneath this overhang are wooden shelves, countless wooden shelves, all with these sort of earthenware cups. And then there's a small to the side, for those of you who are observant, set of shelves with earthenware jugs, and again another set with earthenware buckets. Which the relevance of which we will get to shortly. There is a 3rd building here, and you can see that it's like a U-shaped building. There is a gap in the very center. that leads through, and at the center of this building is a well. Within this well, there are some sort of surrounding buildings, but they're not enclosed. It is a roof and a short wall, and then a gap, leaving them open to the weather, though there do seem to be some fabrics pulled down in certain places. Here you will see people have set up some tents, sort of very small single-person tents. You'll also see a couple of tables and chairs put out. It seems to be a gathering area with some shade, basically, around the well. And springing up from around these buildings, you're beginning to see people putting up these stalls, I guess is the best way of putting them. So most of these are put up using large animal bones, as there is not much wood around. These large animal bones are bound with rope, allowing them to sort of create structural pylons. Each of these buildings has 2 or 3 pylons, and then stretched over that is animal skins caked in mud and clay, and then painted beautiful bright colors to create this sort of covering, allowing the market stalls to be in the shade, mostly to keep the wares okay, but also to keep the villagers okay. People seem to be coming from various different directions, and the first thing you will notice is it is quite unusual. Even in the Urak state, you didn't see as much biodiversity as you are seeing here in the different races. Immediately you'll notice 2 Loxodon from the great tribes up in the north. You'll see genasi of all types. There are tabaxi and various gnomes and dwarves, many different humans, elves of all kinds. The biodiversity is huge, and one thing you may notice as well is that there is not much in terms of Leonins. Despite this being on Leonin lands, they're the one race that don't seem too prevalent. Perhaps Chiavo has been reading his book. Chiavo, give me a history check here, or intelligence check.
History check and an intelligence, or just?
Or I don't really mind.
Okay.
You know, like,
yeah, history then. That's a 13.
The thing is that most of the nomadic lands for the Leonin aren't that far away. So they have no reason to stay overnight the prior night. So as the day goes on, you'll see plenty of Leonin, but early in the morning, none of them will have stayed here the night before. Therefore, there are very few Leonin present.
So sort that will arrive in, do what they need to do, and then just disappear again.
Yeah, and you do see a couple of Leonins setting up stalls, but no stalls seem to be open for the trading quite yet, except one. Right next to the well, there is a sort of very long tent made up of multiple structures and different sort of roofs put above it. It seems to be being manned by a Leonin and a couple of others as well. A Tabaxi and a Halfling seem to be maneuvering around. And the one thing you will notice is a huge earthenware pot. A series of earthenware cups, and everybody seems to be coming up to this counter and getting one of these earthenware cups. Nobody seems to be paying anything for them.
I'm gonna get a cup.
Okay. As you go up to the stall, you'll be greeted by the Leonin and... Ah, little brother. Chocha?
Yes.
He takes the cup and he turns to the huge earthenware pot and he ladles into the cup. And before he hands it to you, he sort of looks at you, Sebastian, and it is your first time in Ciran.
It is, and as I take the cup, I'll give a short bow and say, "Blessings of the stars upon you."
You're most gracious, and on you. You will see that what you've effectively got is hot chocolate, ish. It's very dark. You've probably never seen this anywhere, so actually, to you, it looks like liquid mud. I guess you wouldn't know it's anything of the sort of hot chocolate, but the smell is beautiful. It's sort of sweet but spicy. And indeed, as you take a sip, you will find that it's a little bitter as well as a little sweet. It's made from the Chocha beans. And yeah, I mean, he will gesture to your friends and Tell your friends, be welcome. Come, share.
I shall turn to them and I shall like take out a single claw and I'll just like motion to come over.
What have you got there, Sebastian?
I'll like motion to the shopkeep as I down this bitter hot chocolate.
He leans over and he shares in the Chocha. Come, it is tradition in Ciran. There is plenty
Very
here,
well then.
and we have more than
We
enough
shall.
to share. He shall sort of ladle in a cup, and Piavo, he'll hand to you, and again greet you, brother.
Brother,
Of what pride?
Andromeda smiles upon us today.
That she does. The weather is shaping up to be beautiful. I believe we might see a cloud.
Says so.
And
And I'll just take a swig and evaluate this thing.
yeah, it's nice. It's basically like a dark hot chocolate, I guess. So if that's your jazz, then great. If that's not your jazz, then well, hey.
Nice.
Um,
So this isn't something I would have been familiar with. It's not something that's
you were
Leonian
raised in
homeland.
Haellian?
think so. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
here.
think so. So yeah, Haellian's the country, right?
Oh,
Yeah. So you may have had your mother's own version of this. Chocha grows quite a lot in the desert. They're sort of small beans with large leaves. The leaves are often used to make fans in the desert, as well as kind of quite elegant umbrellas and various other draperies. And the beans are used to make chocha. Most Leonins make some form of chocha, but Ciran is famous for being the best. So this would taste like, yeah,
Fine.
it's like you've grown up on Horlicks and you've just been given, a naturally made liquid hot chocolate. It's an
I'd
upgrade.
immediately be recognizing, okay, this is the good stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most notably, it's free.
Free?
Well, yeah, they're not charging. Henrik, will you partake?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, I'll sort of look to anybody who's still standing around and be like, well, I've had more mysterious drinks on account of tradition. I'll certainly have this one.
You will like, little man. And the halfling sort of doesn't say anything, but just sort of waves. You see the halfling is also assisting in the creation of this chocha, as is the tabaxi, which you don't see much of this, even in sort of the Yurak stage, you don't see much of this interracial mingling. In fact, it's probably more natural to you guys than it is anywhere else, because in little villages like Sandringham, people muck in regardless of who they are and where they're from.
Yeah.
But you don't see much of this in the bigger towns and cities. So it might be a pleasant welcoming sight to you all. Torin, would you be chocha-ing?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna wrap my arm around Alessio here and say, "What do you say, Alessio? Shall we partake in this chocha?"
Very unaware of what to do when you wrap your arm around me, I interlock my arm with you. And I say, yes, Turin, let us in this very awkward positioning.
As you approach, like two ladies out shopping, except for the fact that Alessio's a lot shorter.
I feel as though we should skip towards the.
I'm not that much shorter, just like 3 feet, maybe.
Yeah,
two.
something like that. Just only a couple of feet. God. So yeah, you approach, and the Leonin sort of smiles and hands you out to Chocha. And have you purchased your cups for the day? And he gestures towards the building that had all the racks of cups on.
Oh, I don't believe we have.
Well, if you are new,
Might you
then
direct
perhaps
us?
you don't know. Today I believe it is Kayla who is looking after the cups. You go and you trade some of your coin or jewels, if that is your currency of choice, with Kayla there, and you can trade for cups of sand or of water, depending on the value that you wish. And 'tis those that you will spend in the market. Nobody accepts gold or jewels, except for in the case of selling jewels to the jewelers and such. But again, you will receive cups in kind. Once you have completed your trading for the day, you may return to Kayla And any cups you have remaining, you may trade in for your native coin.
Are these like just cups of sand?
What's specific is the cup itself.
Oh.
Even if you say that, he will explain. Each cup has markings all around depicting that it's a cup from here. So you can't sort of bring in your own cups. The first cup is full of sand, and that is worth 1 copper piece. There is a jug of sand worth a silver piece, or a bucket of sand worth 5 silver pieces. There's also a cup of water worth a gold piece, a jug of water worth 10 gold pieces, and a bucket of water worth 50. It is worth mentioning that this tradition dates back to when wells were much more difficult to dig. Markets further within the desert, where they were further from the oases and the rivers, the main luxury, the main rich sign of wealth was water. If you could afford to spare water, then you were a wealthy man indeed. So partly it dates back to that, but partly it's for security. You're not carrying your gold with you, and you're not the market stalls don't. It means that the market keepers can sort of walk away, and somebody can watch their wares without worrying about somebody stealing a few bits of gold.
What was the town we was at before?
The town you were at before. You mean the little tiny village?
Like the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
village?
Oh, with the shifters? There was no name given as far as I know. It was just the village.
Oh, okay.
It was the Tiger Tribe's village. And certainly they made no trade there. You have heard about these cups and buckets before because we ended last session with this information, but I'm just reading.
Right, okay. That's why I remembered it, yeah.
All the gold I have into these, which is 50 gold.
You have 50 gold? Okay.
Yeah, I only have 50 gold. And I'm going to convert it all into this, so I can buy stuff in there if I need it.
Okay. You can take 1 bucket of water for 50 gold, but it's probably a little more sensible to take sort of 4 jugs and some cups. And you'll be provided with a sort of little hand cart, I guess is the best way of putting it. It's a bit like a shopping trolley, really. And
I'll carry anyone else's if they need to, because I still have some room.
So the handcart is pushed. It doesn't have any wheels. It instead has 2 sort of metal pipes, I guess, that will run in the sand. It's not easy to push, but they're sort of bent back. It's a little like a sled, really.
Well, obviously, Henrik and Sebastian are quite smaller, so they shouldn't have to carry this the whole day. So I'll turn to you both and say, if you need to put anything on the cart, feel free. I will carry it on behalf of everyone.
So Kayla will exchange with you your jugs and buckets, jugs and cups, sorry, and explain that, should you need to spend more than you have, so if you wish to buy something that's worth a cup of sand and you only have a cup of water, then exchanges will be made by the merchants themselves. Obviously, it's quite easy. They just drink the water and fill it up with some sand off the floor, right? It's not hard to trade water for sand, and water is plentiful here. There is a river sort of 60 feet behind you, and there is a well that is where these cups are being filled from. Kayla will greet you. Go on, Sebastian.
I was just going to say, as McPherson says this about the car, I'm going to throw my backpack onto it and then just mutter under my breath, I've missed having a maid.
Are you also trading for some cups and jugs, Sebastian, or are you going to wait to see what you find in the town?
Yeah, I want to see what the rest of the bazaar has to offer.
Okay. So they're starting to set up some stalls now, and Kayla, there we go. Sorry, name went. Kayla will sort of greet you all, and she's quite a dapper-looking Leonin. She stands about 7 foot tall. She's wearing a long, flowing, dark red robe, and a sort of light white hood, and she's sort of, well, new here.
Hi, as we are.
Seen your faces around here before. Oh, I'm sure you'll be needing some stores. The market has some very interesting goods to offer, You should check out the crystals.
Crystals, you say?
Yes. Like they carry a magic of their own. And she pulls a necklace out, which is sort of a leather, Josh will like this, it's a leather thong. And sitting on which is a large piece of quartz that seems to glow with an inner light.
That's quite beautiful.
I think so too. Light in the darkness in the desert as well is always helpful. They're my
Indeed.
favorite. Nah. Yeah. But,
Where did you
Can
get?
I No, go ahead. Sorry. Can I wander back to our ship folk, since it's not far from the river?
well,
I just want to.
Are you wandering? Sorry, I'm muting myself in the middle of a sentence. Are you wandering back to the ship or to the people? Because there are no people
Right,
on the
I was
boat
gonna say,
right now.
Yeah, wherever they've gone, right? Since
they're
they don't
here.
seem to be with us. The whole... Okay.
They're here, but they're in their own sort of group.
Yeah.
You will see. Oh God, I was going to call him Fark. That's not his name, is it? Furl.
For yeah.
Fark.
Fark is such a better name than Furl.
Leave me alone, alright? There's so many names remembered, so many campaigns. I do my best. Okay. You'll see Furl is sort of already in the bazaar, wandering around. Everybody else is sort of gathering near the Chocha tent.
Yeah, I just want to in a stupidly Hennick way, I want to go over and talk to him more, like away from the locals here, the trading people, and just get a sense from him, sort of. Listen, I don't want to be. We've been on some strange adventures, and I don't want to be too ostentatious around here. I don't know how much water money or people are like to carry around a place like this. How much would be sensible to exchange at the beginning of the day?
If you carry much more than 2 buckets between the group of you, you will be noted by others as outsiders, but that is all. And many outsiders do travel here. It would seem a little crass if you were to, perhaps, for example, exchange more than they have buckets. But otherwise, it'd be okay. Phoebe has, once upon a time, had to make a very large purchase here. And as such, it is usually, you will go to the stall and make your agreement there, and then the 2 of you will go to the exchange, and that's where the deal will be done. So there's not to carry the money around the stall. Basically, he's saying, if you see anything that's more expensive than the amount of money you've got, you and the merchant can always together go to Kayla's stand and make the trade there. But a couple of buckets between you wouldn't be seen as too much.
Well, that makes good sense. Thanks, Furl. Yeah, so I'll go back and get another bucket for with the group money that I sort of carry.
Yep. So if you're carrying I would say if you're carrying a bucket, maybe 10 jugs and some cups for now.
Sure. Yeah.
I think 5 jugs and some cups, because 5 jugs is what Zoras. No, brackets, Bruno. It's not Zoroaster, it's Alessio, thank you. Not helpful. I need a little thing that sits on my screen. When I have a third screen, it's just all it's gonna say is the names of all the characters in the campaign at any given time. Players and NPCs alike. Yeah, Alessio purchased 5 jugs, right, and you've got a bucket. For now, I think guys, go on.
Can I ask the Leonin where she got her crystal from?
Yeah, she will gesture to a stall a little way long, run by a small, small Leonin. So, large but small for a Leonin.
Okay, I would like to go over to that stall.
Okay. As you come over to this stall, you'll see that there are sort of actually 2 stalls next to each other. Standing at one stall is a large...
Nice. Oh, how are we all doing?
A little sing-along.
I'm all right. Joe, you're muted.
And if y'all have anything particularly looking for out here today, I mean, it's an interesting little desert market.
Mostly just browsing the wares,
Perhaps some souvenirs, textiles of sorts.
Sebastian wants one of everything.
Of course he does. You will... She's going to call me on a second, Josh. Anyway. You will find at this stall that there are 2 people. On the left-hand side, you have a large Leonin, a gentleman, a little grey of beard, and in front of him are various crystals themselves. There are... Yeah, do you know what? We'll be right back 1 minute.
No worries.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. The telephone was ringing. Yes, sorry. As you approach this stall, there are two stalls. On the left is a large gentleman, Leonin, going a little grey in the beard. And in front of him is an array of various crystals. To the right is an older-looking woman who looks a little like him, but is a lot shorter. She's perhaps only 5 foot, which is tiny for a Leonin. But you see that she is bent with age. She appears very old. And in front of her are the same crystals, but worked into pieces of jewellery. Some alongside wooden beads, some on necklaces or bracelets. But as you approach the two stalls, the gentleman will look out over you. Welcome, little brother.
Blessings of the stars upon you.
You. Can I help you?
Yeah, tell me about these crystals. They're very beautiful.
They are beautiful and they carry a certain strength. Each crystal has its own light. Within them they build up during the day. Throughout the evening they disperse that light. Sometimes they can be a vessel for more than that. A little about. Sometimes they can hold a little magical energy as such. As an example of one of the crystals that you might see. The desert folk, he'll sort of explain to you that they tell tales that these crystals were once carved by warriors who returned home from the spirit world. These rose-shaped crystals were said to have been spread across the desert to protect these spirits' homelands. So back when the prides had sort of totems, if you like, it was believed that these totem spirits protected by the carvings of these crystals. And these crystals are huge in the desert, right? They stand, anywhere between 3 and 30 foot tall, wide as well. And these crystals are cut from there, or more often they fall naturally and are then shaped. He looks at you and they make a pretty piece, but yeah, they have other uses. Sort of thing.
What colours are there?
So you'll see them just sort of a large spread of sort of natural crystal. The majority of them are this sort of white and transparent quartz. Some That's what most of the crystals are. You will see some that are sort of deep purple at the inside, and then come out to this pale white. You'll also see those of sort of deep orange and red. Those are known as blood crystals, which is what you're looking at right now. But each of these crystals is, it might call to you in a certain way. And there is also some pale blue and some very, very deep, dark red crystal. As well as a sort of pale yellowish, candy-coloured crystal.
Are there any crystals that call out to me?
Yeah, I think so. I think that perhaps some of these, like the one I've pinged here on the screen, some of these that start with the orange and yellow and fade out to the silvery white at the outside, they seem to contain... They feel magical to you, but they don't seem to have any magic about them when you sort of, with your arcane knowledge, you know that they don't actually do anything magical, but they feel magical.
Sounds like a trick.
Not necessarily. Give me an Arcana check. See if you can. He'll let you sort of handle them.
Sounds like a salesman of real world crystals.
Yeah, I mean, he's not saying that they. He's saying that some people have said they contain a magic that he doesn't understand.
24.
But you do. As you sort of grasp one of these, you realize that they have the capacity to contain magic. With this, you could perhaps find a way of storing a spell, or perhaps even maintaining a spell. It could be used, for example, for simple things such as giving off light, or another spell. Perhaps you could have a crystal that can shape water, but you could also potentially have a crystal that's used for other purposes. Magic stored in it temporarily and then refreshed later on. Like a ring of spell storing. And indeed, if you look to the right, as you see the woman's jewelry counter, you will notice that a couple of the pieces there appear to have magic already stored in them.
I'll just smile awkwardly and say, I'm just browsing, and then awkwardly move away from the store.
Yeah, just in case anybody else who is listening to that is interested, these crystals are 5 cups of sand each, which is 5 copper pieces. No, sorry.
Silver.
Yes. No, that's right. 5 cups of sand, 5 copper pieces each.
Oh.
And so they are not expensive.
I need to go get myself a few cups of sand then.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Henrik is carrying buckets, but you probably don't want to spend a bucket of water on 5 cups of sand. So, if you want to pop... I mean, obviously, you guys would need to exchange in-game, but, as characters. But for the sake of mechanics, you can just spend your gold.
You know what, actually...
What about the jewelry, though, James?
Sorry, I'll go back to Sebastian quickly. What?
Sorry, actually, I will take 3.
Okay, so that will cost you 1 silver and 5 copper.
Yeah, that'll be 1 dark red one, 1 yellow one, and 1 purple one.
I'm just going to make a note of that for myself. Chiavo, did you also want to purchase crystals?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll grab one.
5 copper?
Let's go find those purple ones then. Why not?
Okay, so as you pick up a purple one, it's 5 copper. As you move towards the jewelry, Corin, you'll notice that there are 2 types of jewelry here. There's lots of sort of smaller pieces, some with wooden beads, some without. And then there are 3 sort of quite proud sort of leather thongs with a single jewel on them that appear to be separated and on little pedestals. You can surmise that they're the ones that contain magic already. It is 1 jug of sand for a piece of jewelry. However, it is 2 jugs of water for the pieces already containing magic. If you ask one of your lovely friends, I'm sure that they will be able to identify the magic that it contains.
Yeah, I'll ask Chiavo to come over and have a...
I'll give it a shot.
have a gander.
Yeah, I just need you to give me a second. You'll be able to identify it immediately.
Okay.
So this amulet holds a crystal that appears to thrum with magical power. It stores light during the day, which it can then give off at a single command. So basically, it uses the light cantrip. Beyond this, the user can cause that light to fall upon enemies, lighting them up to make it easier to see them. Distracting them, this amulet can cast a light cantrip at will and can cast Ferric Fire twice per day. All requires no cost. Those are the amulets of the sun.
Got you. I think that I'll probably just buy one of the more mundane pieces of jewelry, maybe a ring or a bracelet or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, that's just
a jug of sand.
Jug of sand, yes. A silver piece.
10 silver?
No, one silver piece.
One silver.
Each piece of jewelry.
Okay. A bucket of sand is 10 silver. Got you.
Yes. The old woman will sort of crabbily lean over. Thank you, dear.
Oh, you're most welcome. Do you make these yourself?
I used to. Now it's my daughter. She's manning the stand today.
Oh, is that right?
You've met her, of course. She's called Kayla.
Oh, Kayla, of course. Lovely girl.
She sends a lot of business my way when she's on the stand.
I'll look down to Hennick also and be like, perhaps you could learn a thing or two.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, if she has taken over from you, you must be a fine teacher.
I like to think so. My mother taught me, and her mother taught her. So on and so forth. It's about revering the crystal, giving it your full attention and love, understanding that you are only enhancing its natural beauty, not making it something it is not.
Yeah, I haven't had much occasion to work with, well, really anything because we've gotten so busy, but just ordinary stones more than crystals. But I'm just terribly concerned about, trying to mount something like this, just shattering it to bits.
Oh, they're quite tough. We use these boring tools here. One somewhere. And she'll hand you basically a long stone stick with a point on the end, and a sort of rough piece of leather. And she'll show you that with the rough leather, she sort of rolls the stick between her hands, boring a hole into the crystal. At the moment, obviously, she's just boring a hole into her wooden stool. But she demonstrates that's the way to do it. And she'll show you that as the stone gets slightly thicker as it goes up, depending on the length of the hole is how wide the hole needs to be. So it starts quite thin and will make a very thin hole through a smaller crystal. And as you get further up the stone, wider hole.
Oh, that's a fascinating tool there.
Well, I've got lots of them hanging around. Go on, you take it, young man, if you're interested.
Well, very, but certainly when I offer you a cup of sand or water or whatever it is.
Oh, well. Yes, indeed. She doesn't want to place a price on something she was offering you for free, so it's up to you how much you want to spend, really.
Sure. Yeah, I will. Which one is which? I don't know. I'll give her a silver piece worth.
A silver piece, so a jug of sand.
Yeah, it's like a jug of sand.
We can't sticky in Roll20, so I'll just repaste.
It's alright.
What is that? Okay. There are 2 messages there. I don't know why it's. Yeah.
Cool. But I will probably also consider one of the sort of finished pieces that is not full of a spell yet as well.
Yeah. So again, it is a jug of sand. Yeah, a jug of sand. So a silver piece for the finished article, non-magical. But as you all look around, you'll notice that Alessio has wandered off to a large stool that has a sort of big wooden wall stretched up across the back. And all over this are weapons. Various weapons that seem to be made of wood with crystal edged blades. You'll notice that a lot of these are fairly mundane, less, your typical spears and swords and axes and such, but a few pieces stand out as really quite special. You will see a whip And all along the whip are tiny little pieces of crystal, delicately placed in it, and it seems magical in nature. It seems to contain some magic. It is simply a whip +1. There's also a yikulwa, which is also made with a very thin edge of crystal all the way along it. It's not balanced for throwing, but you could probably lob it at somebody. Also magical. So looking like it might be a +1. There's also an unusual trident. Along this trident are fabulous, delicate carvings of fish. All the way along it in various different crystal colors. One could command a fish with a trident like that.
So there was the whip, the trident, and what else?
There's
Was
a
this spear?
yikulwa.
It's a kind of like a. It's like a hand axe, maybe.
Yeah,
It's,
sort of like that ish. Give me. I'm sorry, I
his
can't type
eyes-
one thing and tell you another. Bear with me a second. Oh, come on. There we go. That is that. Sorry, you were asking what a yikulwa is. A yikulwa is like a simple sort of old Chultan weapon. It's like a quite long, about 3.5 feet. And the blade is quite a long way along the edge. Like a bit like a hand axe, but like half of the weapon is blade. And the blade is not as long. They're very effective. You often see them in sort of tribal films and stuff.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Jamal.
And whilst you're looking at these, the gentleman who is very well muscled, human-ish person, a sort of ebony black-skinned human, but you notice his eyes look a little unnatural. They shift sort of gold to silver, and silver to gold, and he looks over at you. You're a man of weapons. Yes.
Yes.
Let me show you our finest. And he brings
no
out.
Need. I will take all 3. I want all of them.
Well, you might want those, but he will bring out nonetheless a beautiful
Kind of
rosewood
scratching with the addiction
polished
showing
box.
up.
It looks like. Do you know those beautiful wooden boxes you see for like pool or snooker cues?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
Sorry.
that, and he opens it up to you. This here is the spear of the desert sun. Is something
Chills.
special. Very special.
Tell me, what does it do?
These runes contain the very moonlight of the desert, all upon the shaft of the weapon. The grip is embedded with these crystals and thrum warmth. The hunter who creates these spears, he whispers the words of warning into the spear. And when the time for battle approaches, you can hear them.
Unless you will pick it up and try to listen to the whispers. Yeah,
Battle is not approaching. But
I can
yes.
hear them. I'm always in a state of aggression, so yeah, I can definitely hear them.
This is what the spear looks like. It's sort of got quite a large haft just behind the spear blade. And he says to you,
How much for this
the
spear?
magic, it lights up along the back. Purple glow, you know, like this. And he will call with it, and it will light up with an inner light.
This is the coolest weapon I've seen. How much for it, good man? Tell me now.
And 2 buckets.
If Torin had overheard that statement, he would be pretty disappointed.
Unless you put the weapon down and slightly punch the table, reassured at every single time that he said only money matters in this world, and completely forgetting any previous times in which money proved itself not to matter.
Those are the prices. They are all in water. So it's 11 jugs and 2 buckets for the lot, which is 210 gold pieces. Easily affordable for some of your party. Not affordable for
Unless
us.
he'll just unless he goes back to the boat and he just cries at the fact that he's incredibly poor, even though his only goal
He's not
is
poor.
to
He's
make money.
rich as hell. Yeah.
You can't get your spear? Can't get the spear?
No, Kiavo. I cannot accept this gift from you, although I am thankful. I must sit in the shame of my own poverty.
I think it's fair to say the whole group is carrying enough gold to purchase all of those things apart from you.
I mean, technically, yeah.
Yeah, I think nobody's
but-
on less than 80, right?
No.
And I think
I've
Hennik's
barely
sitting on
spent.
like 300.
Yeah, I have like a 150.
I think I'm the poorest because I spent quite a lot of money on
That's
my
true. Sebastian quite a lot.
Yeah, you did have money, didn't you? And then you spent it all. But yeah, Guy, I'll be honest. Bruno, you won't find magical weapons very often. If you group purchase what you want here, it won't. Down the line, I'm sure that your money will be usable by others and such.
I will utilize any money that I earn to repay you by protecting your lives at the cost of mine. And Alessio will like slice his hand, and
Oh, you didn't need to go that far. Jeez.
Whoa.
I swear it! I will protect you all for what you have done today.
They pay in sand and blood here. Sand and water here, not blood, Alessio.
He's just very excited.
Although, I wonder if they would be open to trading.
They are very much open to trading. It is the most common form of mercy.
So I'm gonna dig back through my stuff. I don't know if it's on the ship or not, but I have a moon-touched scimitar that we received a very long time ago that I just shoved in my backpack.
That would be a straight trade for the whip or the Yikulwa, if you wish. If instead you prefer, he will gladly give you 5 jugs.
I will present the sword to Alessio and say...
But you think Alessio is going to be able to give away a magical weapon to purchase a
I mean,
one?
for a potentially cooler magical weapon, maybe, yeah.
Well, considering he also has a moon-touched sword.
The moon is
Yes, he would.
The moon is definitely quite worthy here, right? So each one of these moon-touched weapons is worth 5 jugs.
Okay, I'm happy to give away some of my stuff because I've never spoken with this moon-touched sword. We don't have a relationship like I do with my other weapons, and I was kind of just given it when I joined this group, so I'm happy to give it away as well.
Wait, it's not the same moon-touched scimitar, is it?
It might
I'm
be
not
the same
sure.
moon-touched scimitar then, yeah.
You have a moon-touched scimitar and Torin has a moon-touched scimitar.
Yeah.
There is only
I
one,
imagine.
I'm afraid.
I imagine that's the one then, yeah.
It's the same one.
Either way, I mean,
You can't sell me the same weapon twice, you know.
Well, how nice of Torin. He already handed it over to this guy you just met.
Oh no.
what would be the discount? So like, how much would this cost us in total?
You'd get 50 gold off the 210, so 160.
So if I put 50 of mine as well, that's.
Why do you need all of these, McPherson?
I'm with him.
Hennek, look at them. They're so beautiful. Have you ever seen something so beautiful in the world like these weapons?
I've seen all sorts of beautiful things. I've seen
gonna-
a sprout in the early spring. I've seen, the children around the village. There's a lot of beautiful things out there, Alessio, and all those have different purposes. Do you need all of these at once? I mean...
Hennek, listen to it, the spear. It speaks to you.
So I take it you're most interested in the spear, then? I think that's perfectly reasonable.
I think Alessio would be pretty easily persuaded to not want to buy the whip or the Iklwa, but he would still very much like the spear and the trident.
Yeah, I mean, and he can wield both of them at the same time, right?
Yes.
Which is crazy badass.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Just bear in mind the Trident to Fish command isn't by technicality. It doesn't actually increase its. It's not particularly magically. What am I trying to say?
You can just talk to fish. It's
You
not a
can
plus
just
one
talk
or
to
anything.
fish. It's not a
Yeah.
+1 weapon or anything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's
it'll
quite
cut through
interesting.
non-magic resistance, but
Yes.
otherwise.
I just like it for the narrative aspect of it, even though the other ones are a +1. I think
Yeah,
it's quite
yeah, no,
interesting.
100%.
I mean, we are
Maybe
on
if,
a ship.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe if we end up not being, if we leave the sea behind entirely at some point, maybe you leave that with someone along the coast at some point. But for now, I think it's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So how much do you need from me here?
By the way, Alessio, my sword is pretty cool.
So you've currently got 50. You've got 100 gold effectively with you, and you are looking to spend 130. So he needs 30 gold.
Yeah.
Take it.
Well, I mean, but plus the 50 of what's on the card already is already mine, right?
No. He's spending his 50 on the cart, and then he's trading his weapon for another 50.
Oh, the trade. That's what
Yeah,
I was
so
thinking.
it's 30 gold that he needs to borrow.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Hennek.
But do bear in mind that the majority of the group's money is on Hennig, right? So whilst he is being very generous in a sense, he's also giving you your money. So don't feel too bad. It's group money.
So when I need some equipment, I can just come to Daddy Hennick and be like, make
if
it
he
rain.
thinks it's worthwhile. Yes. So whilst some of you are purchasing crystals, and some of you are purchasing purchasing weapons.
Oh my god.
Did anybody take interest in the Amulet of the Sun that casts Fairy Fire twice a day?
Torrin's all right.
Cool.
Is it attunement? That's the question.
Nope. No, it is not attunement, and it is 2 jugs of water. Should you be interested?
Fairy fire. That's concentration, isn't it?
Nope. With this, it is not concentration.
Oh,
Well then.
You know what?
We'll take
I'm
5.
sorely tempted. I'm sorely tempted. I mean, it's an Amulet of the Sun. It's gonna look good on a fucking big fucking Leonin, right?
Mhm.
You know what? Let's be stylish about this.
Okay.
How much is that again? 5 jugs,
20.
is it?
20 gold pieces. 2 jugs of water.
You know what? Yeah, I'll buy it then. Why not?
Cool.
Why not?
Amulet of the Sun. She had 3, so she does still have 2 remaining if anybody else finds them interesting, but yes. Other than that, as you go around, you will find some beautiful sweet rolls for a copper piece each. You will find some unusual smoked meats placed upon skewers.
I would like a skewered meat, please.
Aye, there are 2 copper pieces, two cups of sand. And they're really tasty.
I'll hand that over, yeah.
It's like almost like sausage meat, right? But it's it's been cured in the sun. You will, however, see a group of Leonin who stand a little way away from all the market stalls, all facing in towards each other. And at once, as you sort of notice them, it doesn't appear related to you noticing them, but as you see them, they all at once kneel upon the ground together. They tilt their heads back and they look up to the sky.
Yeah, but what are those Leonin doing?
I actually get a better understanding of what they're doing.
Well, they're... If this was nighttime, they'd be praying. But it's daytime, and Leonin don't pray to the sky during the daytime, so that's about as much as Kiavo knows.
I have no idea then.
Are they like chanting anything, or they're just sort of staring up at the sky?
Give me a perception check.
I can do that.
Can you?
12.
12. You have advantage.
Does that give you advantage? Does the
It's
shield
flat
give you advantage
advantage on
outside of
perception
battle?
checks, I believe, yes.
I thought it was only in battle. Okay, well then.
No, it's I would say that it's sort of it allows you to find a state of sort of maybe you lean on it and put your chin on it.
Indeed.
I'll find an exact balanced moment of like yeah, so 22. You hear very quiet muttering coming from each of them. Get on the ground. And you see slight lights of magic sort of interacting between if they're casting a group spell.
Interesting. I'm gonna back up a little bit because I'm not sure exactly what's gonna happen. We've had difficulties with people casting spells and exploding and stuff. So
yeah, you do hear the voices start to get ever so slightly louder. At which point, Kiavo, you would know that they are casting a group ritual.
Can I figure out which ritual it is, or is there no hope in hell of me working that one
Well,
out?
the thing is with group rituals is they're not normally a single spell. It is like various people casting different spells together to create an effect.
So it amplifies on each other as such.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, they may not be casting ritual spells in themselves. You would definitely notice that one of them is casting Mold Earth. One of them is, two of them together, potentially trying to shape some stone. Altogether, it would amount to like a spell of creation, I guess. I don't know if there's a spell called creation. That's not really what I was getting at. I just mean like it's a spell they're trying to create something.
Is there any chance we can hang around for long enough to see the result of what
You would assume they're only a couple of minutes away from finishing. And indeed, as they begin to move outwards, and finally their fingers stop touching, but the glow of magic comes between them, and you notice as you look around that various people at the market stall have stopped to look onwards. And rising from the ground is a pillar of stone. Reaches up almost 10 feet in the air. And at the apex of this stone pillar is a single circle with a gap in the middle. Circle of stone. You've seen these before, Kiavo, a long time ago, around the watering hole, which is to the east of Haellian, and it's the most sacred place in Haellian. These are used to look through at God. They are to focus the God's energy upon the ground, or upon the earth around. Once they have finished, they stand back to look at their handiwork, and they sort of nod to each other. You can see that all of them look tired. As if this was a great act of exertion. Which it would be. I mean, raising stone out of sand is not easy.
No, definitely not. Especially permanent. Especially something so permanent as that. No. Yeah, that's understandable. Huh. Okay then.
You can approach them or talk to them if you wish, or you can leave them to it and pass if you don't. They will wander into the
personally, I'll
market
leave them to it. They're tired. They're not going to be interested in hanging around and talking. They want to just.
They all head to the Chocha stall, actually. That's where they're going to go and replenish themselves.
Very understandable, that one.
Are there like markings and stuff on this obelisk?
No. What is most bizarre is it looks like it's one singular piece of stone. It is completely smooth from bottom to top.
Oh.
That was magnificent. Could you learn to do that, Cavo?
I would say it's doubtful.
Perhaps Sebastian could help you.
I think 2 of us alone would probably not be enough to do something like that.
Sebastian looks up at Kiavo with like a confused look on his face, like, speak for yourself, you won't be able to do that. And I'll continue walking down the street. And as I pass the obelisk, I'm going to prestidigitation a picture of Kiavo's face, but looking very sad.
I look at the picture and I say, Kiavo, this graph here on the wall sort of looks like you. Could it be one of your ancestors?
Just gonna shake my head in disappointment. Looking at Sebastian walking away, just...
Did you just want to punt him?
Kiavo, these two might not be the best collaborators, but you're hardly alone. In fact, especially with what happened with the plants and the worm and all back there, I think it's about time to understand that some of the things that I'm doing are not just regular honing of talents. I have some magical ability, and so does Torin. Obviously, some of the things that have glown and done damage in battle and various things of that sort. It's you're hardly alone. That's for sure.
Well, that's comforting to hear at least. Thank you. But this here, I think, would be something that's beyond just 4 of us. I think we would need more than even us.
It's not even a case of you guys needing more or less, or you just need something different. These are they're all clerics. That's the simplest way of putting it. They're all clerics. No matter how many wizards you put together, they can't cast cleric spells. Basically, this is
nevertheless
the group ritual comes from a cleric thing, right? They're all beseeching God. Collaborate magic.
That isn't to say that we cannot achieve great things together.
Oh, indeed.
I understand.
Very true.
I understand.
Well, then,
very true.
You well, and Sebastian too, for that matter. But Kiava, you guys seem to be well, obviously, as we were saying, this is different magic than we know how to do. But you all seem pretty good at learning different things, and well, quite frankly, I was thinking a lot about some of the ways that we've left behind some threads that we'd like to keep tabs on, and also well, our, I guess friend is a strong word, but our friend, the chef on the ship there, wishes he could communicate with his wife and so on, and it would be real handy if we could talk to people over a long distance, but not through a stone that some asshole is watching. So, I don't know, how do you go about learning something new like that?
Well, I feel like that's something I could probably learn. The way I would go about learning it is to hit the books. It's definitely been well documented, the ability to communicate like that. So that's
I've never
like
been
us
too
learn.
too much of a reader. I sort of pull out my almanac. I've always known there's some wisdom to be found in the pages, but I wonder if I could do a similar thing. I wonder if there's anybody here selling that sort of stuff.
You would have noticed somebody selling scrolls of the sort. They look like they're quite expensive. But I can copy paste this. That
It is
doesn't
magically
mean
not expensive.
that doesn't mean that they have any of those spells. It means that any cantrip you would purchase is 4 gold pieces. Any level 1 spell you would purchase is. And they do have a selection of scrolls, which is ironically the only scrolls they seem to have are the ones you need. Let me know what you're interested in, and we can come to a deal. I thought about putting a list down, and I was just like, it's going to be so shitty if I write down 45 spells that you're not interested in, and the only thing you wanted is something they don't have, and we'll allow fate.
Well, with the
what can I
with the
assume that
reminder,
you were looking for a sending spell?
yeah, right. I mean, we talked about that a little bit, but it was just with the reminder last week that apparently I can do that in this version of the game. I would be interested. I think that's the thing for a good thing for Hennick to have in general, plus a couple of specific uses.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and obviously once
be
you
honest-
have it, you can teach it to the wizards.
Yeah,
Sure,
60. It's a 3rd level spell, right? Sending.
I believe so. Yes.
sending is yeah.
Cool. 30. 65 gold pieces. Otherwise known as 1 bucket and 3. 1 bucket, a jug, and 5 cups. Awkward way to trade, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially after being with Alessio, like, no, we don't need to give you too many buckets here, Alessio. Hennick is a little bit sort of sheepish.
He's purchased this beautiful spear with its crystal on it, and you've hauled out all these cups and you bought a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's like I imagine
Okay,
like
just
the sort of
swinging
like
buckets
counter is like almost above me, and I'm kind of like slowly like setting jug after jug.
I would hope that you're either putting them on the ground and somebody's come around to get them, or one of your party members is helping you. As you're making this purchase, you will see that Nassan, somebody I don't think any of you have spoken to, he's blue. And he's not a Smurf, he's a Vedalken. But he's the ship's carpenter, you will have seen him about. He also comes to the same table as you, and he hands over 4 cups of water in exchange for a scroll. And then does so again and exchanges for another scroll that's identical. He's purchasing 2 scrolls of the same cantrip. And, house. Well, yeah, he's purchasing 2 scrolls of Shape Water. Incredibly useful cantrip to have when you're trying to fix a breach in the hull of a ship. Yeah, and he sort of turns to you, and you're learned in the magical ways.
Well, I think learning is a bit of a stretch. My companions here certainly more so, but I've picked up a few things along the way.
He looks at the scroll that you're holding. It's a powerful artifact. Have you seen the priests and heard their news?
No.
You've definitely seen the priests. They just erected a massive
Okay, yeah,
stone
right.
pillar,
You're
right?
right.
But
Yes,
yes.
yes.
News is that they are aimed to ask the gods to protect them. They say that the land itself is digging people, burying them under the ground.
Well, unfortunately, that comes as not so much of a surprise. There have been troubles like that all across the land.
It's terrifying. The whole village is swallowed.
That's very concerning. I wonder if... Well, I'd be interested to see if they get any results, I suppose.
It's not good when you see priests running away. It's a sign of it being very scary to me.
Yeah, I mean, certainly speaks of, I suppose, a loss of faith is somewhat concerning.
Phoebe has said that we might leave a little earlier. She is concerned. Land swallowing will chase us here.
Well, yeah, well, I suppose, well, I guess I just wouldn't be 100% confident that it's purely land and that you're 100% safe at sea, but or on the river, but...
You think we might
moving
get
along,
swallowed
I
by
think.
the sea?
I mean, who knows? No one really seems to understand exactly how the land is doing these things.
Oh, no.
I would never have expected to see the sand swallow a village. I can't imagine it's that much different for the water to swallow a ship, but...
Oh, no, no, no. And he sort of looks at his scrolls of shape water, and you can see him in his head working out how many he's going to need to not get swallowed by the sea.
Well, all you need to do, best thing you can do, I think, surprisingly, is get us where we're going. We're hoping the elves have some more knowledge about how to deal with this stuff.
That is good. Someone must solve this problem. I just wish it wasn't involving me.
Well, I would very much like to be back on my farm, shaping the earth in my own hands. But if we have to be out among the world watching people raise pillars from the ground and being afraid of the land shaping itself, well, that's just the lot we're given, I suppose.
Many times. Perhaps I will buy one of those crystals. They say they're lucky. Heads back towards that crystal stone that you left there, hoping that he might purchase himself some luck. Just to mention, Chiavo and Sebastian, primarily, you are at a scroll stall with Hennick. The prices are placed in chat in Roll20. Is there anything in particular either one of you was really hoping to get your hands on? I know it's a little harsh, Josh, as you've got enough to buy level 1s. Obviously, perhaps if you and Chiavo, right, whoever purchases it, you can both learn it, so.
And I still have more money.
Hennick always has more money.
You would never know what to look at him, but... And Nick is the richest person in the party.
Chiavo.
I mean, Steve Jobs wore a pair of jeans and a black turtleneck, so...
That's right.
He wasn't a farmer, though.
No, he wasn't.
Chiavo, are there any spells you were hoping to get your hands on?
Honestly, not that I can really think of. It's mostly just going to be sending, and, well, we're going to be getting that as a group, right?
Yeah. You have it already. Or just obviously you only recently got it. You cast 4th level spells. I wish I could.
Yeah, I haven't really given it that much thought yet, to be honest.
I don't mind if we end up purchasing one of those in retrospect. Get to a point and you're like, you know what, shit,
okay.
I should have picked up. Cool. Well, it's fair to say that you will notice that Phoebe is actually going round the market stall, rounding people up. And she'll tell you for free that the village that was swallowed was about 6 miles down the coast. So
That's kind of concerning.
Yeah, she does not want to be here when swallows this place.
I can't decide which I'd be more upset about, if it's the actual land doing this, knowing that these problems we've been after are getting worse, or if somehow one of those worms is involved. I will
tell you for free. You would You'd heard of these
I
stories
figured.
long
But
before
Henrik
you
feels
got here,
terrible.
right? Okay, good. That's fine. I'm okay with Henrik feeling terrible as long as he knows theoretically that he's not to blame for the future ones. But unless there are any other purchases. Oh, the only place I didn't mention, you will have passed a potion stall. I don't know how you guys are doing for potions. Bugger, and then I closed the window. I don't know how you guys are doing for potions, but if you do wish to purchase some potions, there are potions available. There are potions of healing, potions of mana. Manufactory potions have made themselves this far, and there's an awfully sort of corporate-looking human dressed far too finely for this area selling them. There's also potions of climbing, comprehension, and watchful rest, as well as like bark skin, water breathing.
Are there any clothing stores?
There are.
Yeah, I was gonna say like textiles and stuff.
Okay, we can roll to textiles in a moment. Does anybody have any need for potions?
I mean, not health. I mean, I've got a few health things here, and Kiava makes
Yeah,
them from time to time. But
Kiava's made me quite enough that I've had the stockpile.
That is true, actually. Next to the potion store is something else that Kiava might wish to shop at. If you guys want healing potions. What about mana potions? Spell slots.
I mean, guess it's useful. But...
Oh, well, if nobody's desperate for them, then Kiavo, are you interested in purchasing the herb?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that might come in useful, right?
Yeah, that might do.
Tidy, fresh herb.
How much of the herb are you buying right now?
All of the fresh herb.
So what do you need?
Fresh.
What do you need? You need sage root and fedra leaf, is that correct?
Sage root, fedra leaf, and some other ones that I can experiment with as well.
Okay. So sage root is 5 buckets of sand. No, it's a bucket of sand each, so it's 5 silver pieces per sage root. And 3 silver pieces per fedra leaf. So it's basically 8 silver pieces for a healing potion. And then experimentally.
I'll get enough to make 5 then. I'll get 5 of each of the resources then. So 5 sage root, 5 of fedra leaf, and I'll take 4 gold off.
Okay, if you want to spend another 4 gold, then you can purchase a collection of all the others.
Yeah, sure. I'll spare you a gold as well. I'm just adding the sage root and the fedra leaf real quick.
You are going to be on a boat for quite a long period of time. The water-breathing potions are not expensive. Expensive at all. Yeah. 4 copper pieces each. So I think you can afford a couple. They only have 3. So if you wish to purchase 3, that's
sure. We'll take how many we have then.
Jamal, I put the 4 gold pieces with you. Can
give one to Alessio.
You can add. You can add 5 of each of those herbs. Java, arrowroot, bloodgrass.
I feel like he's at most risk of.
Yeah, 5 of each of those. Okay.
Yep. All. They're always sold in 5s.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Purchasing 5 lots, you realize you purchased 25.
I didn't mean to. Yeah.
Okay. You can go back down. You can give yourself another 3 gold and 2 silver then. Back. So it's 8 silver for 5 sage root and 5 fedra leaf, right?
Okay. My bad. Yeah, that was a bit expensive. Holy shit.
Well, yeah, I mean that's only a potion per person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 8 silver. But it's still a potion per person, right? Cool. And yeah, water breathing. You wanted to head over towards the textile stalls. There's a couple of different textile stalls. It depends on exactly what sort of thing you are looking for. You will see beautiful coloured fabrics at one stall that seem to be for scarves and shawls and robes and such. It do appear to have a couple of cloaks that are very well embellished, but in general, most of the stuff here is just normal clothing. There's also some sort of leather worked gear further down, but nothing of the sort of capability of what Torren's already been making. Torren, sorry, you did need to buy some leather itself, didn't you? for Hennick's gear. That will
Oh, I
cost
thought
you
we already did.
I don't think
Did
I
we already
actually
do it?
charged you for it. You know, I just said you
Oh.
can make it, but I'll charge you. in
Okay,
advance.
got you.
It's only
Yeah,
4
yeah.
silver pieces, so. And if you wish to spend another
Take it
4 silver
all.
pieces, you can buy another set to make another set for selling or whatever. It doesn't really matter, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Let's do
yeah.
it. 8 silver pieces.
Yep. So you'll be able to add Hennick's armor, obviously, but also just add 8 pieces of leather to inventory. Sebastian, in terms of clothing, it's shiny silks and various dapper-looking clothing. Anything?
Yeah, I just wanna wear the kind of outfits that everyone else is wearing.
Oh, okay.
I want to be fully tourist right now.
So for the grand total of 2 jugs of sand, so 2 silver pieces, you'd be able to get yourself a set of robes, a scarf, a headpiece, some light sandals, a sash, and an undershirt, light white undershirt. The sash is to keep the robes together, right? You don't want them flapping about in the wind. They're beautifully light clothing that stops the sun from really getting to you and keeps you cool in the day, but they also keep you warm at night. Cold deserts.
Yeah, I'll like everything of that set apart from the sash and the headpiece.
Okay. Yeah, seeing your sort of pointed ears, they'll sort of accept that no headpiece is necessary.
Well, it's more because I've already got a headpiece.
Yeah, true. I mean, this is the cloth headpiece, right?
Yeah, but they'll cover my beautiful crowned orb.
True.
You could put your orb on top of it.
The silver
No.
is 1 silver, 8 copper. For the lot.
What kind of colours are there in?
Well, that's up to you. So most of them, they really like their reds and their golds. But there are a few others. There's sort of deep blue and silver. And there's also purple and yellow.
Ooh, could I get like a deep blue with gold accents?
Of course you can.
Like
You'll
a
be able
royal
to find
blue.
relevant pieces. The scarf itself will be almost pure gold, but everything else will be deep red with little gold embellishments on the outside. As you all turn around, Sebastian looks like he's sort of ran a little fast through the edge of a market stall and come out wearing the things covering it, you know. He's out bedecked in all these silks. The problem is that most of them are sized for Leonins. So
I was going to get them like...
So you thought you were... Well, no, you purchased pieces that fit you perfectly, but what you thought, what you bought as like a robe was actually like for a teddy bear. Like various other pieces like that. The cat jacket is now on your head.
Like a little baby Leonin outfit.
Yeah, the scarf's a flannel, like all these little bits. Or a handkerchief.
Hennick, who actually really enjoyed his mountain furs but hasn't been able to wear them in a long time, thanks to the shift in weather, wants to go up and look for the opposite end, just a scarf in the most muted color he can find.
Yeah, so there's plenty of stuff that sells in this. All of them are in this identical tan color.
Wonderful.
And as you go to purchase it, the woman looks at you and, you don't wish to purchase dye?
No, I think the fabric speaks for itself. It's finely made.
That it is, but it is for coloring yourself. How will you show the pride of your tribe if you do not have the colors?
Well, I certainly do have some pride in the others who are with me, and their garments speak for themselves. As you can see over here, they're doing.
She
just
looks at
fine.
the cat, and he looks fine. But he represents the colors, no? He is showing
Yes.
the Moon Tribe.
I am new to these parts, and I think I'd like to honor the colors of the desert itself. That is something that I'm new to. So.
Oh. I'm sorry for that. She looks sad, and with your passive insight, you'll realize that she's implying that you're of a station, certain station. And indeed, you will have seen a couple of beggars also wear plain tan. You're effectively wearing the colors of slaves, but that's absolutely fine.
Ray, I'm only more excited about that now.
Great. She sort of nods and goes swiftly.
But I do
she
make
will
no
charge
effort
you
to get a
just
tiny one. Sorry, go ahead.
She will charge you just a cup of sand.
Oh, yeah,
In
sure.
a copper piece.
But yeah, I make no effort to get a small teddy bear size one, even though I'm almost.
Oh, lovely!
the same
So you
size.
have a swathe of
Right, it's
of
sort of
tan silk.
just a scarf that
Yeah,
becomes an
yeah.
entire poncho, sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah, no, great. You can probably use it as a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
And with that, you will see Phoebe has a couple of people with her.
Torn wanted to just quickly purchase a like a sash, like a traditional sash.
Mm-hmm. Any particular color, Torin?
Whatever the majority of people around are wearing, maybe like the dark gold, the dark red.
Yeah, the red and gold. The red and gold is
Yeah.
a classic. So
Yeah.
the deep red and gold is, in fact, the Sun tribe, which is why it is so well known. And indeed, it is the color of the tourists, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to purchase that. That is 3 cups of sand or 3 copper pieces.
Nice.
And you will see Phoebe sort of come past a couple of people flanking her with huge handcuffs, and you notice that she's purchased a lot of wares, or at least a large volume of wares. And one thing you will notice, Henrik, is that there are swathes of this tan silk. Looking to do a dyeing job, who knows? She sort of looks at you all and... Are we mostly ready to return to the ship? Want to make haste?
It certainly looks like you're ready with what's this things to sell at the next stop, or
Some. She doesn't elaborate.
it's fine. I won't pry.
Are we all pretty content? Is there anything else that anybody was thinking? Oh, I would really like to purchase that. Any crafting gear or such?
All aboard.
But I can think of, I think for everything.
Good
I
to
need
go?
for this one being.
Want to purchase?
I'm
a
good to
flock
go
of
as well.
camels? Well, if we're leaving.
Can they
the flock-
miniaturize them?
No, they cannot. Oh well, as you guys go to get back on. The fuck did I put the boat? Oh, right at the beginning, so I can always find it. You're able to sort of get yourself back on board, and Phoebe will call to Torin and Alessio. Could you help us unpacking here? But a little bit of stuff, if I'm honest.
Yeah, of course, Phoebe.
And you'll find out immediately that these swathes have been purchased for one simple reason. That's to cover what she has purchased. And as she starts to sort of pull the cloth away, this deep black stone, long black stone of obsidian. She's bought mounds of it.
Goodness, Phoebe, what's all this?
It's not for me.
You have a
sort of-
client.
Shrugs, and Zandrak will explain that it is him who is purchasing. There is a tale. Long ago. Excuse me, I'm dying. Got a fucking frog in my throat. There is a tale of long, long ago. Perhaps I might tell you if you... I'll just pop the stone over there and we'll have a chat, I guess. And after a little while, when you're all settled on the boat and the boat starts to set back out, River Hill, tell you of the first tribe. So goes the teachings. The first tribe of the Leonins to arrive in Haellian. Wow, load, thank you. Came from the island of Mimna Colric. If you remember, Mimna Colric is the island where out to the southeast, where the magical Leonin came from. And they came to Haellian and they found the land much untamed. Great creatures, huge scorpions, large snakes, desert worms, various other beasts stood mighty above them. But they came upon this stone, obsidian, and within it they placed the prayers of their people, of them marking the stone, their prayers, and with the constellation of the gods. Before long, they had erected the entire night sky, stone walls, the home that they built for themselves. It was but large enough to house 20 Leonin. Kept them safe, all the creatures of them. No matter how much longer the tribes of the Leonin traversed the desert, they never again found this black stone. And so, each time they moved onwards in their nomadic ways, they carried with them a piece of their home, a piece of this black stone, each member of the tribe carrying as much as they could, these stones, and reassembling it, reached later lands. A long time later it was discovered this black stone is, in fact, the bedrock of many of the oases and rivers. So, in those days, it was impossible for them to dig it out, so it was seen as a rare commodity. Nowadays, it is not so much, though a little unusual. This here is trenched from the very river we are sailing upon. It is this stone that allows the beautiful flowers and plants, many colours, to grow through it that you see down here. It's an old tale, but it's one that the Leonin themselves keep most sacred to their hearts. Is very few Leonin that do not carry some obsidian with them, usually with the night sky drawn within it. We've heard tale of the land striking back. These Leonin. When we come into Ulsmire, this would be an appropriate tribute, but also, perhaps, key to learning about some of their problems. A gesture like this to the right temple will get us more answers than various other. Besides, there may be truth to the tale. As he touches, as he runs his hand along the obsidian, you do see it glimmer, if moonlight is stored within it. Much akin to the crystals that you bought, jewelry that some of you wear. He sort of strums his hand gently along. Hope we don't need to find out. Well, that's a morose story. Besides, moving it about is flippin' awkward, isn't it? Look at the size of it and the weight. It's like ballast. Have to make sure we store it perfectly on both sides of the boat so as not to tip it one way or the other. You do see that they have also bought a fair amount of the crystals, and that is what they will take and trade elsewhere. As well as some fresh meats, some of those smoked, lovely smoked sausagey meats that you guys were able to purchase cooked. They have purchased smoked but unfinished, ready for the eating as travel. Once you're all settled in on the boat, it's now mid-afternoon. It's a little warm. Many people who are not on duty are sheltering below deck. Hot desert sun. What are we doing, guys?
What are we doing, indeed?
What do I actually have to do, if anything, to learn from the scroll? Is it automatic, or do I have right so that I can now learn the spell?
Yeah, I mean, I think this takes on a different means to various people. Gava would probably just read it endlessly for a few hours, perhaps transcribing it into his own scroll. Bastian probably casts the spell a few times, looking at the words and sees what happens. I imagine words are what Henrik would pick up on, but perhaps in a different sense. Perhaps sounding them out, seeing how they sound out.
Yeah, so I've always kind of thought of him thinking of message, just the cantrip of just kind of like throwing his voice, right? Mm-hmm. Throwing a whisper. So I feel like maybe he would just be trying to sort of, even though there's no space on the ship that's really big enough to test the limits of that, still nevertheless sort of trying to,
like from end to end or something.
Like, yeah, almost kind of like whisper at a bird on the bank and see if he can get it to flitter off a tree, just trying to sort of extend the range of that.
Yeah, I think that is much how spells are learned in the whole world by various people. You know, yes, Kiava writes it into his spellbook, but at the same time he speaks the words and feels them out and tries the magic and sees what it does. And indeed, as Henrik whispers to some birds along the water coast, eventually they do start to flutter. start to get an understanding. I think perhaps it might take a few hours before you're confident enough to extend it, miles. You can learn spell. I think, just on a very mechanical sense in D&D Beyond, I think you have the ability to get the add spell feat.
I'll find out. Yeah. Oh, right,
So
in a
it's-
feat. Yeah, sure.
It's 3rd level. So do I have I added that one for you guys? It's additional spells cast at 3rd level. I think they all say wisdom, but as
Yeah.
yet that's not caused a problem for us because we haven't had any spells that require a modifier. So obviously,
Right, I
doesn't
was going to say
require a
there's no
modifier, so-
check ever really for this.
Yeah.
So.
So that feat should give you access to the spell.
Cool.
If not, you might need to shuffle around your spellbook. As Hennick is whispering to birds along the way. What's Alessio doing?
Alessio is very much entertained with his new fancy spear.
The
Torin.
spear
Not bothering
is-
anyone.
The
That's what
spear
he's
is
doing.
attunement, yeah. As you sort of play with this, I'm assuming you are also in the process of attuning to it.
Yeah, I'm naming her.
Or naming her. Oh, but what are you naming?
Ooh.
Felicity.
Okay, I was about to offer you some time, but no. Felicity! Felicity, Spear of the Desert.
No, just Felicity. She left her last name in her whole old life.
Not even Felicity, Queen of the Desert?
She's Felicity.
She's her own queen.
Later on, when you find another spear, you can name it Priscilla.
She will gain her title in battle, as I have.
What's your title that you gained in battle, Alessio?
McPherson.
Oh.
It's my nickname from the old days. Joe!
You know it's
I've never
What?
seen you crack up
What?
like that.
You know
I
it's
wasn't
funny
even
to
paying
ask him to
attention.
remove his glasses to laugh.
Ooh, I've never seen Joe like that.
That was beautiful.
It
What
was my
your title?
nickname.
Yeah,
It was my nickname in the combat days.
Okay.
McPherson.
McPherson.
Right.
Whatever.
Wow. All right. I thought it was going to be like Slayer of Worms or whoever. Who decapitated the worm in the end? Who killed the worm in the end? I think it might have been Kiavo, actually.
Yeah, I think maybe one of the. Yeah, or
Anyway.
Joe.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yes, it
your
was
question.
Joe, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Joe who killed the worm.
In answer to
Yeah.
your question, that's what I'm doing.
Okay,
I'm playing
cool.
with my spear.
Lovely. Please do so in private.
Oh,
Aaron, what are you doing?
I
Well,
wanted
you
to.
shouldn't play with your spear in public.
Well, I wanted to ask Alessio if he would be interested in a little practice.
Oh, beautiful.
But
That
of
is Miss Spear.
course!
Mhm.
Say no further. Let us go to the battlefield.
Okay.
After you, my good man.
A little friendly competition here. Each of you just go ahead and give me a initiative roll. I'm not going to ask you to fight.
Okay.
Initiative.
I rolled a 3 for a total of 15.
Wow. I also rolled a 15.
Nice, but you are the more dexterous of the two, so Thorin sort of out first, and then I will take contested athletics or acrobatics, your choices, guys.
I'll roll athletics.
I guess I'll have to roll athletics.
So mine's a 31. I rolled a nat 20.
Okay. Thorin's looking pretty athletic with his 22, and then McPherson's doing like the strangest mighty maneuvers. That's pretty good. As
Like a swift crab, my manacles pincer you.
right. Yeah. So at
Just like
first,
ping, ping,
McPherson's
ping,
got
ping,
the
ping.
upper hand, and then I'll take a performance check from each of you.
Oh my god, my time has come, finally. I can perform. It has not. I rolled a 4.
Thorin suddenly starts to embellish his maneuvers a little bit more, tricking your eyes with his deft sword work. And then suddenly your weapons come
Evasive
together.
footwork.
There
your
is no
weapon-
tricky the crab.
Your weapons come together as a sort of locked in together. I will take an intimidation check, please. Do bear in mind you can roll intimidation as strength or charisma, yeah?
No. Oh.
It's just rules as written.
Oh, no.
How do I change that really quickly?
So
I
you
know
click
how
on
to
it, you
change
click
that.
customize, and you tell it you
Yes,
want
yes,
it
yes.
to...
I am right there.
Skill stat override, I believe it's called. Oh, Torin with a +8. That's
I
12.
know. But the 12 though, honestly. It's my highest skill.
Is it?
16!
Oh. Okay, so yeah. McPherson with his brute strength begins to push the weapon down towards you. And I will take contested intelligence checks, please. As your
Intelligence
final roll.
checks. Oh no.
What a ride! What a ride!
It's fair to say that right now, Torin's got the. Wait, can you have the lower hand, or do you have to just have the upper hand? McPherson had the upper. Oh, a 7 beats a 9. Yes, miraculously, Torin's incredible intellect, at least his battle knowledge allows him to sort of. He's slightly older, right? A little bit more. Perhaps less battle experienced, but he's got the family history on his side. Right?
Training.
When one of his old
Pedigree.
grandfather's maneuvers sort of steps aside and taps you on the back, and Xandrax sort of smiles out. Seems like you're evenly matched.
Unless he pulls out 65 Battlemaster maneuvers.
Yeah,
Let's finish this.
Yeah,
No.
I think it's sort of
Not at all.
both of you with your great training.
I'll put my spear in the ground. Torin! Yet again, you are a noble person to fight alongside.
Alessio, a magnificent weapon for a magnificent fighter.
Oh, I say the same to you, good lad.
Yes. The blessings of Bahamut on Felicity. For all time.
Bruno as a player, is this how straight people bond? Like they fight with their swords?
Kikis, yeah. And then complement each other's weapons.
What is Sebastian up to during this?
Which is obviously a euphemism for...
I think I'm gonna try and try and store a spell in those crystals.
Beautiful.
That's what I'm gonna try and do.
Okay, so as you take one of the crystals out, you focus on it for a while. You can get it to store a spell for like a minute. The crystal you will pull out first, I think, will be the dark red crystal. But you can only get it to store a spell for like a minute or so. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
That's the 23.
If you could only find a way of freeing up your hands to not have to hold the crystal, perhaps you could have the crystal store a spell while you're using another. I think that there's something to this. You need to find a way of not holding the crystal.
I can use Mage Hand.
Yeah, that sort of works, but then it's not touching your skin and it doesn't work.
Well, unless you're suggesting I grow another limb, James.
I was perhaps suggesting that it needs to be turned into a necklace or bracelet where the...
I don't want to. I want to throw them.
Well, it doesn't seem to store a spell in that way. As you study it and focus on it, you notice that perhaps it could concentrate on something for you. If you combine your efforts with somebody else, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you end up wearing. It could be something that somebody else ends up wearing. Allow you to concentrate on two spells at once.
At this revelation, I'll just roll my eyes and throw it in the ocean.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. You don't think it would be useful to anybody else? Nope, fuck them. Alright.
If I can't use it, no one's using it.
Well, because it needed to have a piece of leather strung through it. Yeah, as you take out the second gem, second crystal, this was a yellow crystal. This one seems like you could put a spell in it and it would last 24 hours. Into a ring of spell storing, but with only one spell.
Then what would happen after the 24 hours?
Well, no, I mean, you could... 24 hours is an example, right? Let's pull up the ring of spell storing. We can explain it in more definitive manner. So it stores a spell cast into it, holding them until the attuned wearer uses them. At first, it will store one, but perhaps if it was refined a little bit, or you with practice, you could store more spells in it. While wearing the ring, you can cast any spells stored in it using spell slot level, save DC, and your own stuff. So it's like you could store a spell and then use it the next day to perhaps preserve a spell slot from yesterday to today. But you could also store a spell and have somebody who doesn't have the capacity to cast it. Right? So you could store a fireball in it and then get Alessio to cast it. Don't do that. That's a nice waiting to happen. That's the worst I've ever had.
Sebastian's going to be like, yawn, and throw that one in the ocean.
Just before you do, it might be worth mentioning that it would also allow you to cast 2 spells in a turn if you had a bonus action spell. So
yawn.
Okay, very well.
Okay.
Can we just say that, just in case anybody else has any interest in these, that Hennick also purchased one of each crystal just for the purpose of having around?
I'm fine with whatever. I bought 1 random necklace. That's all I know for sure.
I have a ring I put down.
The crystals were 5
Say that
copper
somehow
each.
the rocks. Would you say that somehow the rocks end up in Hennick's room just by sheer magic of the stones themselves? They just decide to save themselves.
Phoebe bought loads, so maybe you could.
Right, that's what I say. She has
some
some to sell. I think it will make sense that one of us will eventually ask Sebastian what he found out about his.
He'll tell you
and
nothing.
then realize they were
'Cause he's a
valuable.
dick.
Yeah.
James, were you able to see my whisper?
Possibly, maybe. I don't. What? Where?
Like anywhere. I just need like some.
I don't
money.
know where you've whispered me.
Oh, in Roll20.
Okay, no, I'm not right now. I'll get to that in a minute. And as you pull out the purple crystal, you realize that this is what is used in things like wands. So once you put a spell in it, it would recharge with the sunlight, allowing it to, once you've put a spell in it, recharge each day. So, for example, you could put magic missiles in it, and you'd have a cast of magic missiles each day. Perhaps even twice a day if you were really you did well at it. Akin to the fairy fire. I'm just everybody waiting for it to meet the ocean. But yes, these are used in. These would be akin to a wand.
Yawn.
What exactly did you want the crystal to do?
I wanted to put a spell in the crystal and then launch the crystal. Then when the crystal goes to wherever I've thrown it to then activate the spell. So I would put gravity sphere in the crystals and then launch them.
Can I point out that is exactly the same as casting gravity sphere in a point in the distance? Didn't think to create an item that does something that the spell already does.
Yeah, but it means not having to use the spell slot or prepare the spell.
So you'd put the spell in it, and then at a later date you'd be able to then reuse it. So you'd get the spell slot back. Because you'd have to use a spell slot to get the spell in it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, Jamal, what colour was your gem? Oh, fuck, he's got the same one. There are light blue ones that Phoebe has that do exactly what you're looking for.
I'd like to go and buy 3 blue ones, please.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that you guys probably picked up a selection. If Hennick is willing to spend... Can you afford a gold piece?
Yeah.
Great. That's 5 of each colour of crystal. Which is what I thought you guys would do when you were told that these crystals could store magic. But everybody was like,
I didn't know that the crystals actually did something very different between each.
Oh, well, no, I did imply that when I was asking them what colours, but no, indeed. I will explain in full over the break what all... So you've got 5 crystals. I guess, we did have 4, but now we've got 5. So I guess the last one can be green. We didn't mention a green, did we? So the deep red allows the crystal to concentrate on a spell for you. The blue works like a ring of spell storing. The purple can help create things like wands. The light blue can store a spell, and then it will cast a spell when thrown. And the final one, the green one, what's the light blue one, is a little akin to the mage armor, but you can store other spells in it with a duration. So these are not concentration duration spells, but other spells with a duration you can place on them, and over time they might be able to hold it indefinitely. Things like light, perhaps adamantine weapon, oath
Shield of
weapon.
Faith?
No, that's concentration, I believe.
Oh, it is concentration.
Yeah, so non-concentration. Sanctuary is another one, but obviously that would be a bit weird because it ends when you attack. I'm sure there are others. But yeah, basically they can allow you to indefinitely increase durations of certain spells.
Question, does this go the same for the jewelry?
Yes, but with the jewelry you can also just right, it's nice jewelry. Might have to have it do something. But yes, you could with the same thing with the jewelry, so the dark red for concentration. And in fact, for the concentration, you will need to make jewelry out of the crystal. It must be touching your skin at the time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And with all those interesting thoughts, we are going to scroll down and... No, I can't see whatever you sent me, Alessio. Can you send this to me anywhere that's not Roll20?
Yep.
I don't do Roll20. It's there, but it's not there. I don't know if it's something we need to address pre or post session. Yeah, 100%. You want to work on the amulet?
I want to work to buy one, so like we can just say that all my work for that day would go towards it.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So you're working the ship, effectively.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, cool. So you're helping Phoebe, right? Yeah, okay, cool, great. So no, I couldn't work out who you were working for. Yeah, no, definitely. I think those of you who have spare time, the sailors will start to sort of, at first jokingly, but in kind of meaning, like, do it, sort of suggest things that could be done, you know. If you've got a minute, would you mind coiling that rope, you know? Stuff like that. And, or sometimes like, if you've got nothing better to do, can you, and then later on it will be sort of, would you mind? Effectively incorporating you into the crew, right? When you guys are standing around doing nothing, you're all quite, apart from Sebastian, quite gracious people who would, I'm sure, help if asked to. Sebastian's lying in his hammock with his feet up, refusing to do anything. But the rest of you, yeah. But at that point, we'll take a short break. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Beldania. So we'd packed away some obsidian on the ship. Sebastian had played with some rocks and thrown them overboard. Subsequently borrowing some more from a pile of rocks elsewhere. Crystals. Hennick's talking to the birds. And Torin and Alessio are bashing each other with sticks. What's Chiavo up to?
Excellent damn question. I would have definitely been observing what was going on with Alessio and Torin, because this is the amusement factor.
Yep.
But,
you won't get up and hit them with some sticks?
No.
Good exercise? No?
I really looked like the sort to be trying to clash Torin with a stick and losing horribly.
It might be worth it for the exercise. Maybe you lose some of that paunch you've been building up, Mr. Leonin.
Oh, now that's rude. You can't say that to a kitty. That's puppy fat.
Straighten that back.
I love
Fix
the
that
idea
posture.
that he's a podgy Leonin.
Puppy fat, you know. Rude bastard.
Puppy fat. Oh dear. And once you've seen them bash each other with sticks, what would you be doing in subsequent?
In that case, then yeah, I'm gonna have a little mess around with alchemy ingredients and see what I can discover. Sort of looks like it'll work together.
Yeah.
See if I can glean anything new.
Give me a preliminary alchemy check for an idea of whether you can work out ingredients.
It's a 13.
Yeah, bear with me. I've got to wait for the document to open.
Sure.
You don't think I hold this shit in my head, do you?
No.
No. You see, Jamal's being very honest here because he helped write the document. But maybe he hasn't remembered. Okay, we had arrowroot, bloodgrass. What else did you purchase?
Arrowroot,
Dragon's
bloodgrass, dragon. I've got some blue toad shade kicking around as well.
Blue toad
I've got some dragon's tongue.
Ooh. Yeah, blue toad shade and dragon's tongue make light and heat. You can sort of use that on a basic level as a potion of warmth, or on a way more exorbitant level as to like try and make like a firebomb. Dragon's tongue seems to restore some fatigue as well, which can be mixed with emetic wax for a potion of stamina.
Yep.
I think you knew that already. Yep.
Yep. You've got the ephedra, fennel silk.
Ephedra is only healing. Fennel silk sticks stuff together and can be used in binding other ingredients as well. Yeah, hyacinth nectar. You get the impression that with bloodgrass, it could be used to as an antidote.
That's cool.
Which is pretty cool. 13, you said. Yeah. So you discover that lavender, milkweed seeds. You did buy some milkweed seeds, right?
Yeah.
Ephedra and wild sage root as a 4 can be used to make stronger healing potions.
Hang on, say again. Lavender, milkweed, ephedra.
Yeah, so adding milkweed to your standard healing potion allows you to make stronger healing potions. But you need either lavender or fennel silk to help blend the mixture.
So lavender or fennel silk, you say?
Yeah, so it's ephedra, wild sage root, and milkweed.
Okay. Got that noted down.
And milkweed, and then some sort of bonding agent.
Let's see.
And if you want to attempt to make some of those, go ahead and give me another alchemy check. And expend one of each of those ingredients, lavender or fennel silk.
Yeah, I've only got the one fennel silk and I've only got the one lavender, I think.
No,
I've got lots of lavender. I will use lavender. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and give me your alchemy check. See how many potions.
That's an 18.
With an 18, okay. First of all, you will get an increase in alchemy. Bear in mind, you don't increase the skill. Yes, you increase the point in your other notes.
Yep.
And you will also get 2 superior healing potions. Look at you getting onto the useful potions.
So I've just removed. Oh, what did I just
One of
remove?
each. 1 ephedra, 1 wild sage root, 1 milkweed seed, and 1 lavender. And you gained 2 superior healing potions.
Yep. The wild sage root. Yeah, let's move one of those in. And I think I may have already deleted one of the ephedra. Yeah, I did.
You do also notice that Celia and Fennel Silk both seem to be extreme adhesives. Do you have any rock vine?
I don't have rock vine, unfortunately.
You've read of rock vine. If you were able to add rock vine to this, perhaps you could make something extremely adhesive.
Oh, so say the 3 again.
Rock vine.
Yep.
Fennel silk. Celia beans.
How do I spell that one? Scilia?
Yeah, it's in chat somewhere. Also in your inventory.
Yep, and then that's adhesive.
It's extreme adhesive. So standard adhesive allows potions to stick together, or perhaps, you know, if you were to use, like, make a potion of grease, and you were to throw it, the adhesive would help it stick to a surface. But that extreme adhesive is, you'd have to make it to see what properties.
So,
yeah,
that's a pretty good success then. 2 potions of superior healing.
Yeah,
That's a lot of healing.
and you worked out, a few other things. Also with lavender and the earlier one, lavender and hyacinth nectar, you can make a potion of sleep. It's not called a potion of sleep, it's called a potion of watchful rest, I believe, actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Cool. So as you bubble and boil and toil and trouble downstairs, Hennick's finished talking to the birds, and Alessio and Torin have finished hitting themselves with sticks. Sebastian, you're experimenting further with the other crystals that Phoebe. Go ahead and expend a gold piece, and then you'll have limitless, inverted commas, amount of crystals to play with. And then give me a further Arcana check to understand what you might be able to do with this blue crystal, and give us an explanation of what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, so basically, I want to become the very best like no one ever was, and I would like to put summons in crystals. Yeah, basically.
So,
I want to summon lots of Geodudes.
Yeah, you come to the realization pretty swiftly that you can only store 1 summon in 1 crystal. If you wanted to make them more than just a single usage, you could. This will require you having a bond with the crystal itself. You know, a constant, tenuous, magical connection. So although you wouldn't necessarily have to have the spell prepared, you would indeed have to be attuned to the crystal. Go ahead and give me said Arcana check.
Got a 19. Also, slight question. When do we get access to third achievement slots?
Level 9, I think. Yeah. Is it level
So we're
9,
pretty
level
close
9 or
then.
level 8?
We're currently level 8.
In all honesty, like I said with the previous thing, I don't hold this shit in my head. Bear with me a second.
I thought it was 10 or 12 or something.
I forgot we didn't have it. And I'm not using it, but
It is 10. 10 for
Yeah.
a third attunement
I thought-
slot. 14 for a fourth. 18 for a fifth.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're quite a way from actually being able to use this then.
Why? What are you already attuned to?
I'm attuned to my orb, and my ring of mind shielding.
Yeah, you would have to choose between those two.
I don't mind taking the ring off when I can do this.
Yeah. So you realize that what you're going to have to do is cast Summon Construct on the crystal every day. Probably going to take about a week. So go ahead and, for now, just tick the spell slot off. And every time you take a long rest, you're going to tick the spell slot off again until I tell you otherwise. You're training the crystal, basically. Its ability to hold your Summon Construct. Effectively allowing you to attune to it and throw it, and it'll turn into Summon Construct and come back down. Are you attempting to make a crystal construct, or are you quite happy with the three versions?
If I do, does it have a different
It would
ability?
combine the clay and stone abilities. So you'd be able to choose between them in battle, but it would not have access to the metal ability.
Between the so obviously the stone one is to take away reactions and to half their movement speed, and then clay is when the construct takes damage, it makes a slam attack against a random creature within 5 feet of it. If no creature is within reach, the construct moves up to half its speed towards an enemy it can see without provoking opportunity attacks.
So you'd have both of those abilities, but you would never have access to the metal one ever again.
Well, the thing is that the clay one, it could end up hitting an ally. Because it says a random...
If you make a crystal version, it will not hit an ally, it will only hit an enemy.
I mean, having 2 of those active at the same time instead of just 1 is pretty strong. So yeah, that's fine. I don't mind not having the metal one.
Cool.
Although we'll now need to find a crystal construct to put on them.
I was just going to use the stone one, to be honest, because it looks really cool.
Alright.
But it'll be made of crystal. Cool, so as Sebastian experiments away, Hennek, obviously you've finished talking to the birds and you've now learned sending. It's fair to say you guys probably are going to take a long rest first. But come morning, is there anything in particular that Hennek would wish to do with his time?
yeah, well, a couple of different things. What's the priority here?
We'll also say that Chiavo has discovered the properties of the various crystals and explained them to the rest of the party.
Right.
So you would know that in
Right.
time making one of these red... You wouldn't be able to activate the concentration-y magic, you would have to get Chiavo to do that, but making the jewelry itself might then later allow you to create concentration.
Right. Well, I think that he's got to spend part of his time at least just playing with this boring tool that he received and trying to figure out how he can actually finally make something that's on a leather cord that he without destroying all the rocks that he has.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence check with advantage.
Okay.
Because you understand a little bit about the process, right? So that's the advantage. But
Right.
it is intelligence to learn. Yeah.
Horrible.
So whilst you understand each individual process, so you're able to create jewelry. You haven't got any better at it yet. But it's okay. There's multiple checks, so don't worry. Can I now take a sleight of hand check, please?
Sure.
To see how well you are able to bore these holes.
Much better.
The physical aspect, Hennek finds a lot easier. And
Makes
therefore,
sense.
You'll find the physical aspect easy, but the theory of it is not quite there yet. And finally, can I take a wisdom check?
James, as it's a new day, is it okay if I take the spell off again?
Yeah, you should do, indeed. Wisdom check.
Why is it plus 4 on that?
You have like 17 wisdom, don't you, or something?
Yeah, but it's plus 3. I literally clicked a plus 3 and it added a plus 4, so I don't...
Have +1 to ability checks from something?
Oh, it's my jack of all trades, and it's just applying... It doesn't note it on the base stats, it only notes it on the skills, and that's why it's doing it. Yeah.
I see. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, I think jack of all trades is a very applicable thing in this moment. And therefore, yes, you are able to work out a little bit about sort of which bit of the crystal is the correct area to drill a hole through. And indeed the same for rocks and even for wooden jewelry.
Right.
You're able to see natural bore holes or slightly weaker parts in the stone where you would almost increase the strength of the stone by using this whittling tool to put a hole through it.
Right.
And as such, you may increase your jewelry making skill by 1.
I don't have one yet because
Then you may
I suck at
you
it.
may make it 1.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, you're only 1 point away from being able to add your proficiency modifier, right? Which is pretty cool. And luckily for you, it's a dexterity skill, so there'll be there won't be too many intelligence checks. Do you remember how long it took Torrin to learn how to make better leather, right? Intelligence checks are not his forte either. I will say that if you wish to speak to Furl over the next few days, he will be able to aid you in this a little bit better.
Yeah,
He's
sure.
seen it done a lot.
Of course.
So yeah, depending on how many days you're going to designate to it. But for today, whittling is the theme of the day, is it?
Sounds good.
Hmm.
I mean, I want to... Once I know how the spell storing things work, I have a whole other path to something else I wanted to do there.
Okay,
but I don't know if I know about that.
Well, you would
Probably.
know that you know how they work, but you need Kiabo to make them.
Right.
It's something that's beyond your capacity and will always be beyond your capacity. Kiabo, if you are asked nicely, the spell storing being like the ring of spell storing ones, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Kiabo, if you are asked nicely by Henrik, would you
I'll
be
give it a
willing
whirl.
to, experiment with some yellow crystals, I think? Yes.
Yeah, yellow.
Sure.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
If we're gonna do this, let me do a little bit of prep first.
Mm-hmm.
I have. This is an academic problem with my magic, right? So I can use ancient knowledge for this one. What was it called again?
Question. You definitely can't use magecraft because you're not crafting anything.
Yeah.
You may be later, but you're not right now. You're thinking of ancient knowledge, right?
Yeah, because I'm making a knowledge
faith.
roll for this one, right? With the intelligence check for this.
Whenever you make a knowledge roll before the no, you're not. You're making a learning check, not a knowledge check.
Right,
Yet
that's
you will
fine.
be making knowledge checks in the future, so you can do that in a bit. But right now,
I mean, I can give him inspiration, can't I?
oh, 100%, yes. As Henrik sort of explains to you what he wants, you sort of with his more specific guidance. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check and add the D8
D8, if you want it.
inspiration. You're
I'll
gonna fucking
definitely
need
add
it.
the D8 to that. It's going to be. Oh,
Ooh,
that's a
nice.
19.
Yeah, and at this point, Henrik might as well have done it himself.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm better at bringing out things in others than in myself, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely true. As you get a 19, you have no idea how many tabs. Do you have a calligraphy skill?
Do I have a calligraphy skill?
Yeah.
Yes, I actually do.
Great. Okay, what is
I've
it right
hardly
now?
used that.
What is it right now?
It's at 2.
2. Great. Yes. So go ahead and give me an with your mage crafting, so you'll have advantage on this. Go ahead and give me a calligraphy check, which is your intelligence modifier plus proficiency, I think. That up through.
See, it's a +3, so.
Yeah, sorry, no, it won't. No proficiency. You need 3 for proficiency. So just an
Okay.
intelligence check with advantage.
That's a 24.
Okay, well, at this point, you can actually increase your calligraphy skill. You have now learned how to inscribe magic onto these crystals. Which is sounds like you've achieved the goal, but you really haven't. You now know the theory of applying said magic to crystals. From now on, it's going to be trial and error, and it's going to cost the spell slot every time you try it. until you successfully, between you, manage to put a spell in it. What spell would you guys be trying to store instead?
Well, I would sort of say to Kiava the whole reason for this. So, I thought about, once in a great while we've managed to do something interesting in a fight or something like that. But I thought maybe, the captain asked me to try to, get the crew happy and get everybody on our side and that sort of thing. And stopping here has worked out pretty well. Stopping back at Ciran worked out pretty well, but even though we've, I think, cracked the exterior of the chef a little bit, we know he misses his wife and hasn't been able to speak to her in a long time. And that's part of the reason I picked up that scroll back at the market there, because I could stand to talk to some people and make sure we check on what's going on around Beldania. But if we could find a way for him to be able to use it, now I thought maybe something that
like
you
to
know,
make him
or
a stone of sending, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe we'd just combine powers, and maybe even if we could, if we could wrangle Sebastian with his ability to sort of look into minds a little bit, we could get familiar with his wife or something like that. We could try that direct, but now that we've got these crystals, I mean, maybe he could just cast it himself.
You would know that would be a green crystal, purple crystal, right, Kiavo? So you'll have the spell replenish each day, as opposed to using it like a ring of spell storing.
Sure, yeah,
like
right. I was
version.
thinking the one time,
But yeah, no, definitely. You could actually store it so that he could each day contact his wife, at which point he might be your best friend ever.
Excellent.
During this process, Kiavo, you get used to sort of you get used to inscribing magic into these crystals. But as I said, you guys are just going to have to throw spell slots and Arcana checks. And at the moment, it would be Hennick who would have to sling the spell slot. But can I assume that it would actually be far more efficacious to just teach Kiavo how to cast Sending?
I mean, sure. Although I'm happy to split the spell slots with him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if it's his Arcana check as opposed to yours, right, it might be quite a big jump. I think it's 9 points of difference between the two of you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
If Kiava thinks that's the better path to getting this ability for Goran, then yeah, we'd go with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can take the time to learn this spell. Shall we?
Yeah.
I'd still like your guidance in making the thing, but yeah, I can learn this spell.
At some point, somewhere, Jamal, I have sent you the information, potentially from Josh's Discord, to tell you how much it costs you to write spellbook. I
get a discount as well because of my spellbook thing.
I think for you it's 10 times cheaper, and for Sebastian it's 5 times cheaper than it would be in the base game. So work that out. And you might have to charge Hennick, because I don't think you've got enough gold.
That's fine.
Actually, no, Kiava has got a lot of gold, I think, actually.
Isn't it only like 10 gold at this point for me to do that spell, or am I totally
depends, it's a 3rd level spell, right? So I think it's 150 gold pieces. Divided by 10 is 15 gold.
15, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you have 15 gold pieces. I know Sebastian doesn't, that's why I'm...
I could spare the 15 gold, that's no problem.
Okay,
let's
great.
find it. Sending. Learn. Bam. Done.
Fantastic.
Take my 15 gold off.
Yeah, and then go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Can I use my
This is the one you can apply ancient knowledge to. Yes, you are now applying the knowledge you've learned to the stone.
Yeah, because I also have the.
Wait, is Sending a concentration spell?
No, not that I'm aware of.
I don't think so.
Great. Okay. I think ancient knowledge is right. So it would run out as you cast the spell.
Yeah, if I'm not using artisan's tools for any of this, am I? So I can't use magecraft for anything.
Well, you are technically using artisan's tools, but the knowledge I'm requesting a knowledge check, not a crafting check.
Right. Okay.
Mostly because you're better at Arcana than you are at calligraphy.
Yeah. So ancient knowledge will let me add the d6 to this crap, and then
right. Yeah. So straight roll from you of Arcana plus Hennick's inspiration plus.
Yes, I'll give you another.
Your d6.
Well, that's already a 20 right now before the inspiration.
Now add your inspiration.
That's a 27 total.
Okay, so divide by 4, which will round up to 28, so we'll say 7 days. For the next 7 days, Jamal, you will need to start the day without a 3rd level spell slot.
Right.
Once you have achieved that, in 7 days' time, said gem will be created. said crystal will be created. And then you
Excellent.
will have a... and with a 28 in your arcana, that is going to be a 2 times a day sending. Once you have done that, you can apply the same logic to another crystal. So if you want to have 2 stones of sending, one to give to the chef and one to have for yourselves.
Doesn't that mean the higher roll made it take longer?
Yeah,
divided.
that's kind of like, yeah.
That is
Yeah,
a
you might
point.
have to go to
We might use a different system for that, because I just realized actually if you had a rolled a nat 1, it would have taken 6 hours.
No.
Yes. Or 1 day is 24 hours, right? Divided by 4. Okay, yeah, it would be 6 hours.
Set a base number and then take my roll away from it then.
Oh, that's
Right.
clever. You're not so stupid. What fucking number would I get? I'm just going to tell you that it's going to take a week.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I like that. I like the fact
accept
it worked out as a week,
result.
but we'll find a different mechanic. It's the mechanic I've written down. I haven't worked out in my head that worked
Like,
the
27.
opposite
I guess
way that I
if you
wanted to.
wanted, we could just work it at the base roll would require a 50, and then I'd just take away whatever I roll from it. So then that'd mean I'd
Yeah, but that would be
23,
22
which would
days.
be- Well, 23. We could.
You don't have 23 days.
No, you can still divide it by 4.
The chef will be dead by then.
No, you can just divide it by 4 still. Do your divide by 4 thing. Take your 22, divide it by 4.
Just take 7 days and accept it.
Yeah, sure.
cool,
That's
great.
fine. 7 days. Work it,
Yeah,
that's fine.
And once you've done that, you will be able to, however many purple crystals you have, you can make sending stones of them. Obviously, you would then need to redo the process for any other spell you wish to store in one of these gems. Yeah.
Right.
What's Sebastian doing? Once he's cast some construct on the thing all morning.
Then what would he be doing?
You had
Probably.
some spells you wanted to combine, I think. Something.
No, I don't believe so. But I would like to make some more tea.
Okay. Do you have any herb?
I do. I would like to use jasmine in this one.
Okay. As you... Jasmine, go ahead and give me a wisdom check, please. What do you review?
I will use a point of lucky.
Sure, this is what the lucky feat is for. You make it.
So 17?
Bear me a second, I'm waiting for this shit to load. You have any mint?
Let's see. Do I have any mint? Nope. I have some cedar tree bark.
Ginger? Do you have any ginger?
I do have ginger.
Great. Okay, same effect. So jasmine and ginger will give you a tea of wakefulness. This gives you advantage on all initiative checks and on all perception checks to notice things that are happening around you. It lasts 8 hours. Go ahead and give me a tea making check to see if you can brew it. So you've worked out what ingredients need putting in it, but you might just make a really funny tasting jasmine and ginger tea at this rate.
13.
13. You understand that it should have had that effect, but currently it's quite nice. That's about it.
I'm gonna give it to Kiava.
Well, Calvo loves a cup of tea, so he'll appreciate. Calvo, you feel slightly more awake with this cup of tea, but your initiative rolls will still remain the same. Josh, also do remember that any of those ingredients you have, you need to expend 1 of, but when I gave them to you, you should have had 5 of each, yeah?
Yeah.
So that should be
Yeah,
the
I just kind of like go up to Kiava and like, here you go, and walk up. Like, there's no conversation with.
I don't want to interact with him, I just want to give him a cup of tea. Okay, I've got it. Renkus will catch the eye of Torin during the day after breakfast, and he asks you if you'd like to try something different on the boat today.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
He has
An
something-
educational experience on.
Well, he thinks you might find this
again?
specifically interesting. And he's going to show you how the sort of the rudder system works, and how the steering, where the steering wheel is and what it does, and basically let Torin drive the boat for a little while with some guidance. Do you have any proficiency with sort of land vehicles? Have you driven a cart before, or anything? No, you've just ridden a horse. Great. Okay. You've seen Henrik ride a horse a lot, but that's about it. Go ahead and give me a wisdom check to see how well this boat is being driven. I will let you apply an animal handling check if you have one, but I don't think you do. Oh, that's a good roll.
Yeah, that's a great roll.
Yeah, so basically what this consists of is you doing this and Rankus pulling your hands the other way to make sure that we don't hit any banks. Everybody else is getting this sort of, it's like, when somebody starts pissing about in a car and wiggling the wheel from left to right? That's how this ride is feeling right now. Kiavo's tea is slopping. That's okay. It wasn't the best cup of tea in history, but it's still sad.
Mind your sea legs.
But as you spend the day sort of learning this, Torin, Rankus will talk to you about something, an old folk tale from the Dragonborn days, wondering if you've heard the same. And this is the myth that once upon a time the Dragonborn were but humans riding dragons. He talks to you about how back in the day, apparently, just humans, and as you spent more time in contact with dragons, you took on more draconic features until eventually you were to be Dragonborn. And then sort of say to you, have you heard the rumors?
I have not. Rankus enlightened me.
They say that once again, Dragonborn does ride a dragon in the north.
Truly? In Isra?
Indeed. So say the rumors. As we've travelled along water, we've spoken to a couple of Dragonborn here and there. The rumors are always the same.
What did they say?
It says that the dragon riders must return, defend the Dragonborn in the very land itself. Similar to the rumors we've heard in Haellian and elsewhere. Our people are fighting back, then it's a good sign, I guess. But
we're all doing what we must to combat this threat.
I must confess, I feel no loyalty specifically to that land. Though I wouldn't mind riding a dragon.
Who wouldn't?
Well, I might advise that you get a little better at steering first. He nods towards the steering wheel and your
Nonsense.
piloting skills.
Riding a dragon shouldn't be anything like steering about.
I imagine the dragons steer themselves, you are right.
I do have a valiant steed.
Oh, you do? Oh.
Aye.
What is he called?
Amarant.
Amarant.
Yes.
Mighty name. I'd love to see him sometime.
Perhaps you will. He seems to materialize at will.
He just turns up when he feels like it.
Yeah. Like you just like turn and it's just like, oh shit, he's there.
Yeah, so I think with the way that it happens with Summon Steed, with like summoning and desummoning, is that you see him ride into the picture, sort of getting larger and larger and larger, almost cartoon-like. And then when he rides away, he sort of rides in lines and slowly gets smaller and smaller until he appears to vanish in the distance, despite the fact that realistically this is magic at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well that sounds quite incredible. When we dock next, perhaps you might show me.
I shall try.
I didn't think we were built for riding much, though I suppose tales of dragon riding in the past or something.
Well, I was raised in Joston, so...
Oh, yes, there is that. We are far away from our native home, but perhaps the home that you find that becomes the real home. See, you've got something of a family bond going on.
Yeah, as he says that, I'll look out to the crewmates, just like Henrik and Kiavo blasting at a stone, and Sebastian being flippant, and Alessio, I don't know, yeah, playing with teapots, and Alessio
probably coming to you, actually.
Yeah, at the moment, Alessio sort of has been he's been sort of helping with the rigging. They sort of reeled him in to help him with some of the ropes. Layla seems to have discovered that she can kind of get Alessio to help out whenever she wants.
He's not like he's not a
No,
dweeb.
he's not
He will
infatuated.
happily-
But you said you wanted to
will
work.
happily
Right?
help.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will help anyone.
Yeah.
Like it's
But-
not even like, oh no, I won't help you. Like he'll.
But she's like
very
taking
well.
advantage of this.
Yeah.
And many of her duties seem to be falling to you. As she's sort of getting you to recoil the ropes and and sort of running the rigging a little bit. Obviously, you did enjoy the acrobatic side of things.
Yeah, it's keeping me in shape. But
Yeah.
can I use a break and speak to Torin?
Yeah, well, what happened basically is you were halfway up the rigging when the boat started wiggling from left to right like an idiot.
Yeah, yeah.
At which point it was definitely time to come down and have a go at whoever was steering. And at this point, how about you?
I will say though that he'll turn to Renkus and say, "Home is where the heart is."
That it
And it
is.
seems you found a good home.
I have.
And then I assume Alessio just pops
Yeah.
into the scene.
Hello, Torin.
Alessio.
I have brought you something. And he hands you over the necklace that he purchased yesterday, and it kind of looks like these two little battle tags. And he says, I wanted to give you a gift. It is needless to say that our combats and little acrobatic jousts have kept me from jumping into the pits of the ocean and exploring it with my face first.
I'm glad to hear.
Enjoy the gift.
What is it?
Oh, it's just
A necklace?
something from Ciran. I thought you'd like it.
I'll have a look at it, and I'll sort of, instead of putting it on, I'll like wrap it around the hilt of the sword, sort of have it dangling as like a token,
Oh,
a charm of sorts.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Little tear on my soldier eyes. Thank you, Torin. You bring my name great honor.
Oh no, thank you, Alessio. Let us fight together until we perish.
Yes, let us duel again.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, as the two of you sort of share this bonding moment, we're going to fast forward a little bit. We're going to go forward a couple of days. As it's fair to say that you all continue to work on the crafts that you're practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these processes are taking genuine, like quite a lot of time. The Sending Stone, Operation Sending Stone, is taking a while. Operation I Will Learn to Make a Cup of Tea is taking quite a while. But it's nice to see that Torin and Alessio are spending more time sort of in and amongst the crew at the same time. And we will pick up on sort of the fourth day, and we'll get us to the map. And achieve this eventually. And we are ready. I moved Ciran.
Nice.
Ah, the donkey!
Let's go again.
Oh, the donkey.
The donkey!
You mean
Down,
like
boy.
this donkey here?
At this point, as you are moving down the water, you begin to see, rising up in the distance, a sort of huge stone arch. It stands almost 300 feet tall. And you would know that this is Draken Corin. Draken Corin has a religious element to it for the... what are you, Chiavo? The Onin.
The Onion, yes.
That's what I was looking for. But also a historical note for the Dragonborn. And Renkus sort of leans over to you, Torin. We're making a brief stop at Draken Corin. It should only be somewhat of a lunch break, but... Dandrak thinks it's sensible of us to pay tribute at Draken Corin. Might be a
That makes
suspicion,
sense.
but...
I've heard the stories.
What's it called? A superstition. That's what I'm looking for. But
I've heard the stories, and I do give my pledge to Bahamut. So
this Draken Corin in the Draconic language translates to Perch of the Dragons. So this is where they would sit to look out over the world. 300 foot up in the air on this amazing arch.
I'm gonna turn to Torin and I'm gonna say, "Are you gonna sit up there? Because I can speak."
am I going to
sit at the top of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's correct, Sebastian. I'm sure you're free to. I am rather tall, so.
Maybe that's how you ascend to be a dragon.
May I join the conversation? Also,
Yeah, you're all together. Oh.
And I will say, Torin, you would suit a seat so far up in the sky. It is worthy of your honor.
Torin is gonna sort of think about it and then look over to Henrik and sort of see what he thinks about this. Should I?
Does Kiavo and Henrik speak Draconic, either of you?
No, so I mean, I'm not catching that part of it.
Check.
I know that
I'll
Kiavo would
relay,
have a
I'll
very
relay.
small working knowledge of it, but he's not.
No, I don't actually speak Draconic, genuinely. It's just, yeah, maybe the most minor working knowledge, but not enough to understand any really
magic
specific words.
And Henrik?
We'll say.
No.
No, probably not. We'll say that Torin muttered in common, "Sit on top of the rock."
Why would you do a thing like that?
They believe I might ascend to dragonhood or something or other.
Would you want that?
I don't know.
Torin
Really.
wants to be a dragon.
Dragons are quite powerful and revered in the land.
Do you think you've
Perhaps in the future. Perhaps in the future. No, not quite yet. Henrik, you are right. I'm far too young, far too green. No. We shall pay tribute respectfully.
Far
Are
too
there any
green,
other
I thought you
people
was
around?
golden.
Sorry, Jamal first?
Oh, sorry, I was just saying, far too green, I thought you were golden.
Great, that's really helpful. Joe, what did you say?
Are there other? You may have said, are there other people around?
I think it's fair to say that sort of everybody's on deck looking out over this. But as the boat is pulling in, most of the crew are involved in boat-like chores.
Right, but there's not like.
I assume Renkus would be around us.
Yeah, I mean, Renkus has obviously just mentioned this to you, so I think it's fair to say that if you wanted to mention to a crew member, you could, but they're not standing there listening.
But there's not like pilgrims or something here whose behavior we can observe.
You haven't. You're still on the boat.
Okay, still from
you're
the
just,
boat.
Yeah, so it's just sort of almost a kilometer or two in the distance at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then I would just say let's see if we can find out how what's the normal respectful approach if we're gonna go take a look.
Yeah, sort of as you as the boat pulls closer, the monument itself seems abandoned. There are no people here. And then take a perception check from everyone, I guess.
Perception.
Ooh, wow. Nat 20 from Henrik.
Nice.
21 from Torin.
I'll take the nat 20. It's fine. Henrik, as you look up to the sky, just over the monument towards the sunlight, see the sign of a small creature chased by another small creature. With your natural 20, you'll soon realize that these are not small creatures. Large creatures that are getting closer. And in fact, you see 2 or 3 more small creatures winging in from the side. Crashing down into the ground in front of Draken Corin is a beautiful, stunning golden dragon. It is not that big. Perhaps it's on the cusp of adulthood, or you would understand that. And it is being hounded by 3 hunting birds whose wingspans. Without even...
First I turned...
Sorry, go on.
Sorry. I was just going to say, first I turned to make sure Torin is still there and hasn't turned into that.
No, he hasn't. But as you turn, you do notice that Renkus has leapt from the boat to the bank and is running towards the dragon. I think obviously...
Yeah, let's help Torin's grandfather. Fuck the birds. I'll follow him.
Yeah, you've heard of these birds. A couple of you have heard of these birds before, but Kiavo, you would know them immediately. As you grew up in Haellian, the rocks are known for their hunting over the desert land.
Shit.
Yeah. They, if left to its own devices, this dragon would probably be to death.
Yes, we must help him. Them.
Well, if he's as noble as you, he deserves our help.
And, yeah, are you willing to fling yourselves from the boat, or will you wait to the docks?
Oh, I'd probably fling myself over the boat.
Okay, cool. Bye.
I might
I'll
try
fling
to help
too.
Carrie fling me.
Yeah. I'll pick up whoever I can.
As you jump, is it fair to say you would call upon Tamarin?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah,
Yeah, cool. So
if I
sort of-
can.
yeah, running from the distance, Tamarin comes along. Alessio, are you taking out your little steed and making it big, or are you just going to run?
I could probably just run it with my athletics. And I don't want to... Can I just leap on the back of Torrens? Will that be possible?
Yeah.
And it can carry 540 pounds. So
I'm just trying to save the hassle of making the horse short again and all of that.
Yeah.
So I'll hop on the back of Torrens and say, "Yeehaw! Let us go!"
Nice. Oh, bear with me a second. It's really... Sorry, I'm struggling here. Yeah, and as you guys sort of break on in, you can...
A battle map. We've been lied to.
Sorry, bottom
We
right.
said it was a combat.
Yeah, bottom right. I didn't
Bottom
expect you guys to get through Ciran so quickly. Down here on the bottom right, if you guys want to put your characters on.
Is it okay that when we were watching the dragon come down with these other predator birds that I cast Mage Armor?
That would be a second. I'm actually going to go a little further than that. As you guys are running across the land, you have 3 or 4 rounds, right, to sort of prepare yourselves as you see these sort of massive sound. Sorry, that's obnoxious as hell. There we go. Yeah, it's fair to say that you guys all sort of are able to make preparations in advance. I would say you can't target any enemies, but yeah, if you want to make any preparations, your mage armor still lasts 24 hours. So go ahead. That Kiavo.
Oh,
You wish
would I have
to
been able
cast
to,
mage armor?
yeah, would I've been able to cast Mage Armor, but before we would have been getting off, so I could like actually prep up with haste on someone at this point, or
Well, you as I said, there's 3 or 4 rounds.
Sure,
Your
okay.
haste will run out 4 rounds into the combat if you cast it now.
oh, okay, right, okay, I'll hold off on that then. I will Mage Armor then for the time being.
Yeah.
Um,
I think actually it's fair to say that as you guys approach the first round of battle, you can cast haste if you wish.
okay, so Mage Armor. I need to roll to see how long that lasts, right?
Yes, I believe you're on a D8 right now.
So, which is wow, 1 on a D8.
Okay. Yep, and then you're plus 10, so it's 11 hours.
That's plenty.
Not so great today. And as you
Long
guys
enough for the
charge in, Hennick, any preparations prior to the battle?
Yeah, there's not really much I can do that's of use. I don't want to. I don't think I'm gonna. There's other stuff I want to do, so I'm not gonna probably heroism anyway. So that's really the only thing that carries along that would buff anyone.
Okay.
So, nothing.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely fine. You can call out an inspiration if you wish.
Well, that's true.
That lasts 10 minutes.
Oh, and it's more days, so I can get all this back. Yeah.
Oh, this was a new day, yeah.
10
So
days,
apart
so-
from Jamal starting with a minus a 3rd level slot and Bastian starting with minus a 4th level slot, the rest of you would all have every resource available.
Right. Yes. Well, then I shall, under the circumstances, inspire our golden dragonborn to help save the golden dragon.
That sounds quite logical. Cool.
Yes.
And as you come around the corner, you see that the you can. I'm missing somebody. Am I? One of you on top of somebody else.
Oh, you may be missing me and my
Yes,
token
of course.
completely.
I've got 4 people, and I should have 5. Fantastic.
There we go.
Yes. Sorry. Well,
As you'd be coming around the corner, if I may do the last preparatory cast.
Yep. So this is in the round now prior to combat. If you wish to make any combat-based spells, you can, but you cannot target any enemies. I'll come first.
I'll just paste Torin because
before that, can you cast initiative for me, please? Cast initiative, please.
Cast initiative, sure.
Sorry. Can I have a pre-combat round as well?
Yeah, I had a.
This is what I'm doing this for. Yeah,
This
this
very
is why I'm
small
going
thing,
down the line with the initiative.
Yeah. That's fine.
I don't know if does your Desert Spear automatically apply the initiative bonus? Alessio?
Yes.
Good, great, okay. So yeah, first of all, I'll come to Alessio. As you come around the corner, you're around before combat's going to begin. You can't attack an enemy, but you may make an action in preparation. What would you like to do?
I want to know their strength and their dex in comparison to me.
You don't have a minute. You stare at them, right? You come around
I've
the corner.
been
with this
watching them
rock.
from the boat.
Well, I suppose
that
that's
would help.
yeah, it's very non-specific about anything, is it?
Like as
Sorry,
we were
you want to
running up to
know
them, maybe?
their what in comparison to you?
My strength and dexterity.
They outclass you in the strength department by a gargantuan number. Given their size, that's kind of a given. In fact, you know what? I've just realised they are one square bigger than that.
So no grappling today, darlings.
And their dexterity? Yeah, the rocks, they use power to maneuver, not dexterousness. Such large creatures are a little cumbersome. They are not as dexterous as you, I don't think. How dexterous are you?
14.
Yes, they are not as dexterous as you. By some measure.
Okay, that's it. That's my pre-combat.
Cool. Yep, and then coming down the line, Torren, any pre-combat preparation?
So nothing other than drawing the sword out of the sheath and activating its ability to wreathe the blade in radiant light.
Nice.
To give me the +1 damage, and then I think that maybe I will pop a Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay. Shield of Faith on yourself, sword wreathed in a radiant light. Sebastian, any pre-combat action?
Yes.
Targeted.
Since they are flying creatures, I am gonna waste my last 4th level spell slot and cast Fly on both Torin and McPherson, so that if their birds do fly up, they can still fight them.
Are you going to cast Fly on Torin or on Torin's mount? Because he's currently riding a horse.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's mounted combating. If you put it on the horse, then he can...
Yeah, but if I put it on the horse and he gets knocked off the horse, he's plummeting. So I think I'll just put it on him and he'll have to make do without being on his horse.
So, okay, I mean, Torin, you don't have to fly off the horse, right? So you can ride the horse, and at any moment you want to rise into the air, you can.
Okay,
so you both get a 30-foot flying speed, is that correct?
No, 60 foot.
60-foot flying speed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's
And
pretty
as I cast the spell, little chicken wings appear on both of your backs.
Flutters them.
Beautiful. Chiavo. You want to
Yes.
cast haste on Torin, is that correct?
Yeah, it's just going to be on Torin.
I believe Torin means you have a 120-foot flying speed.
Something like that, yeah.
Have fun.
And extra attacks, like, fuck, yeah. Hey, have fun chasing.
Okay. And you've all rolled initiative. So, Alethio McPherson, who gained his nickname McPherson in the might of battle, as you move around the corner. Yes, this rock is sort of... Its claws are sort of talons are touching the ground as it sort of flies out towards you. This one seems to be confronting you.
Okay, we need to chill with the attitude, Miss Brock. I don't know where that's all coming from. But on my turn, I am going to fly over, and I'm going to strike it with my spear. And I'm going to activate it as a bonus action. So with each strike that I do, it deals an additional 1d4 damage.
Oh, okay.
So, does it have any weapons that I can see holding?
It's a bird.
Yeah, I thought so, but I had to ask.
It's a bird. It is a weapon. It has huge talons, a vile, strong beak, and if it hits you with its wing, you're probably going to be put 6 foot in the ground. But yeah, it's a bird. It doesn't have any weapons.
That's a 26 to hit it.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And I'm holding the spear with both of my hands, by the way.
Okay. I'm really sorry. Just give me a second. I'm going to do something really weird. Just so I don't forget which bird is which.
You know, James, in Dark Souls, there's a boss that's a giant wolf that has a sword in its mouth, so I wouldn't put it past beast to not have weapons.
Okay, bird doesn't have sword. Sorry, how much damage did you do?
Sorry, I was incorrect when I said I'm holding it with 2 hands. I'm holding it with 1 hand, and it's 9 damage.
Yeah, I figured you got one in each
One
hand,
of which
right?
is psychic. Yeah, and then I'm gonna extra attack for 19 to hit.
Yeah.
Yay. Ooh, that's 16 additional damage.
Nice.
And
2 with your right and 1 with your left? Is that what we're... No, you used a bonus action to activate
Yes,
the spear,
that
didn't
is-
you?
and that will be my turn for now, I think.
Okay, cool. The dragon breathes out flame upon this creature here. Nat 20 on the deck save. The bird sort of wheels around, dodges it. But he still gets his wings singed. 33 fire damage. Torin, you're up.
Okay. So I'll start. I'm gonna start the
I was
round.
not expecting that number to be that big either. I'm just clarifying.
Before doing anything, I'm going to whisper into Tamarin's ear to protect my companions, and after that, I am going to basically jump off of his back
Okay,
and
just
fly up.
Bear with me right there. Don't move. Don't think. Don't jump. Don't anything. You go and get a token. Gotta have a horse, right? Got wormlings, eagles, bats, snakes, owls, bats, dire wolves, dire tigers, dire badgers, dire rats, badgers, gins, bears, ravens, lizards, snakes, fairy dragons, ferrets. Seem to be all. That's right. Somebody's gonna have a horse. Come on.
Certainly.
Hey, your horse is not going to be a horse, but it will be a horse.
I'll send you some horse art if you'd like.
No, for
make
now
it- we
it's
can
going to be a
make a
beast
token
of
for
earth
it.
and land.
Nice.
Like, oh, that's. There you go. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think it'll probably go and stand in front of your spellcasters, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
He's probably open to any of them hopping on if they should so choose.
Okay. You do have
he's
control of it.
extremely
should
intelligent.
Should you wish.
And then with that, I'm going to fly up with my newfound superpowers. And
Oh.
I'm going to engage number 2 here.
Yeah, just for my sake, how high are you going?
Is 2 flying or is it sort of grounded? Where is it at?
Number 2 is flying about 30 feet in the air.
I will fly right up to him.
Okay, so I put a 3 on the high ground tool for you, so I can see that you're in the air.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Whoop! Love that for you.
Yeah, and as I jet off towards him, I'm going to attack
You
him
can
with
see
the
that this one
fang.
already appears a little injured.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, to be fair, it looks like... Oh, how do I do this? I do 100 damage. There we go. Yeah, so it looks like this fight has been ongoing, right? The dragon's injured, the rocks are injured. It looks like it's been harried for a long way. Go ahead, do your thing.
That'll be 12 on the first attack.
You are inspired.
I don't know. The second one will hit for 21.
You had Bardic Inspiration. Did you want to use it
Oh,
in
did
the
I?
first attack? Yeah.
Oh, true. Is
It's
it
the
an
very
8?
last thing Joe did before you went in. Yes, D8.
Yes,
a
it
D8?
is an 8.
14?
No. Sorry.
No.
You'd hit Kiava with that. That's about it.
The second attack, 21 though.
21.
Okay. Roll damage on this 21. So ignore that fire damage. It'll be.
Yeah. At,
And
10
then-
damage. Yep.
I'm gonna pump the 3rd level smite into it.
Oh, so you should. Bit.
for an additional 13.
It doesn't like that. Don't do that. It's not very nice.
No, it doesn't. And then with his hasted movement, I'm sort of gonna like circle around back.
Yeah. Just because you
Still
can.
staying, yeah, because I can. Why not?
The dragon will sort of call out, "You come to my aid, little brother!"
Of course. And then I will take another couple whacks.
You fly well for a land beast.
Thank
You
you.
will take another whack. That is a big whack, right?
Yes.
Most
yes, it
natural of
is.
20s. Yes.
Okay. For some reason, it's not recognizing that it was crit.
That's fine. We don't use
So that'll
dangerous
be
crits, so
that.
so yeah. So just
No, so another
Additional
D8.
D8.
And then another 3rd level smite, of course.
15, and then 68 in smite, yeah? He is
That's
correct. You
just
can
7.
right click the button. Plus an additional 3d8, right? Because you crit.
Oh, shit. Yes, that's right. Ugh.
Oh. Alright.
That's some awful.
That's 25 damage. It's still not bad. It's 25 damage. It really smacks him up. And actually, in fact, he is now severely wounded.
Oh, nice. Well, then I should try to finish him off with my.
Well,
last
yeah,
attack.
I mean, you do realize that finishing him off is not really a viable possibility. Severely wounded from a large health pool that the dragon ate most of, but go on.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, smack him again.
20.
Another?
No, just a dirty
Oh,
20.
20. Sorry, I thought you said nat 20.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, really? Wow, that's 17 on that one.
Yeah, and then a 1st level smite into this one.
Yeah, another 2d8 for me. Did you say a 3rd level smite?
Sorry, I meant 2nd level. those
Right,
first ones.
okay, yeah, I was just going to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
because you didn't roll
No.
3rd level smites.
No, I did not. I don't even have 3rd level smites. So
You don't have you don't have 3rd level spells yet, do you?
No, not yet.
So that would be quite incredible. Cool, does that conclude your turn, Torin?
I do get a bonus action.
Yeah.
I do.
Who let you have a bonus action? Wasn't me.
Power. No, that's about it.
Cool. I have a bonus action. I'm not going to use it. That's great.
Yeah, no,
Okay. Alethio. A creature will slash at you with its claws. That's a 21 to hit you.
You're...
And you will be lifted into the air.
No.
Also dealing
Good
you
thing you can fly.
24 slashing damage. You are restrained, and it will attempt to beak you to death. With a 27 piercing damage. Sorry, I should really roll to hit first. A 24 to hit you.
That hits.
No, rubbish. That was my previous... Sorry, I need to make a fresh... Okay, never mind. I'm definitely hitting you. Take 27 piercing damage. That's a 32 to hit.
It's quite a lot. I'm ready to leave the fight. I mean, it's what it is, unless you can be there for one round and he needs to leave after.
Yeah,
That's
you'll be
just-
okay. People have ways of helping you. Don't worry up there.
This is how it's at.
Sebastian, you're up. Please bear in mind you are concentrating on fly. Don't stop concentrating and drop other people to the ground.
I won't. I'm gonna
And you
move
have-
up
and
here.
you're holding that red crystal over there.
Then I'm gonna attack this guy, the one that's got McPherson. I'm gonna Sebastian's eyes like roll back, and I'm gonna try and cast Rin's Prismatic Orb.
Is that a to hit?
It is, yeah. It's 18 to hit.
An 18 will hit.
Right, I don't know if we've established their AC or not.
You have not. It's below 18.
Okay, so then I need to roll a d8. Nope. There we go. There's a 2, so as it fires off at him, that'll be... Nice. 31 acid damage.
Okay, and it will drop McPherson, who will then float in the sky quite nicely. So you're no longer restrained, McPherson.
Thank you so much.
And that was, 31 total damage. Yep. Cool. Love that. What damage type?
Acid.
That's it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It was orange goo that dripped all over the bird.
Nice. Any bonus action from you, Sebastian?
No.
Okay. Kiavo.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Please remember you are concentrating on haste.
Yes. So Alessio's clear of the bird right here.
He's floating. He's sort of falling very slowly, but down from the claws. But his chicken wings are beginning to flap. But he's not
really
out
injured.
of range, and he's incredibly injured.
Right, not out of range, but far enough away that not really any risk of being hit by one of my light bolts, for example.
Oh, you want to try and lightning bolt this bird?
Yeah, I want to get this bird. I want to see if I can shock this bird.
How wide is the beam?
5 foot.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I would say that Alessio's probably within 5 foot of range of him, but perhaps he is falling down, and the bird is very big, right? So you can fire it above Alessio.
Yeah.
Deck save.
I'm hoping to shock this thing enough to jolt it out the sky and send it plummeting towards the ground.
You're hoping for a lot.
I know I'm hoping for a lot, but let's see what happens.
16 on the deck save.
That just barely makes it.
Okay.
So this is going to be whatever this lightning damage is, halved. 25.
Yep, so that's 12 lightning damage. Okay, the creature seems to have noticed. That helped.
Yeah,
He's also
unfortunately,
injured, but it was almost injured when it arrived. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't really do all that much with that. I don't really have any bonus actions because they're all spells.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess for the time being, that's me.
Right.
Have to hold it.
The dragon will fly up near Thorin, and it has used its legendary action to do so. Thorin, just give me a deck save quickly, just to see if you are buffeted away. No, you will not continue damage. 19. No, you're able to sort of wing round a little bit, but you will be moved just 5 foot. Oh.
Okay.
Like that. As the dragon comes closer. Henrik, you're up.
That just made things a lot harder, actually. How high? That one was 30 feet in the air, I think. I didn't hear about the height of the one with Alessio.
Only about 5 feet.
Okay.
Maybe 10, right? Because he was on the ground when he lifted Alessio up. If you are looking to AoE any of these creatures, I think it's fair to say you can do so without hitting allies, just by virtue of how big they are, right? Unless you're casting like a 60-foot radius.
Well, I want to hit both of them. See? Circle.
Yeah, what are you trying to cast?
I think I should be able to do it. Anyway. I need a 20-foot radius.
What are you casting?
A storm.
Ice storm? Okay, bear with me a second.
Yes.
Because I have an ice storm to give you.
Cool.
Just gotta wait for it to load. Load. Ice storm. And then we just go to character, spells and assets, add character, and then we call it. Call it Ice Storm. That's Storm. Do we give it to Joe?
Ice Storm. Ice Storm.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, cool. You can now put it where you want. I think.
I don't know how to move.
Or do you need to drag it onto the screen afresh, perhaps?
Yeah, that's probably what'll have to happen.
Yeah,
there we go.
Great. Yeah, you can. Perfectly dragged.
There it is.
Yeah.
Perfectly dragged.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was good. Sorry.
That's fine. So cool. Does that continue, or is it a one-time thing? I don't know what I still means.
So it's the damage is only right away. The area will be difficult terrain just until the end of my next turn. But these guys are flying, and we're probably not.
Yeah, is it a ground or an air thing? Like if it's raining ice,
it's 40 foot high. So it's 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. Each creature in the cylinder deck saving throw. Then there's the damage, and then hailstones turn the storm's area of effect.
If they're hailstones, they're falling from the sky. I will say it's difficult terrain in the sky as well. Love that for you. And sorry, was it a deck save? Did you say in that discussion? You did, didn't you?
Yes. Sorry, right. It is.
That's all right. That is a 20 and a 6.
That passes. One passes, one doesn't. Let me hit. If I hit this here,
the one next to Torin is the one that passed.
Did that come through?
It did. I got
It
10
did.
and 14,
There you
so
go.
it
I see it,
24
yeah.
total damage. So the one next to Ciran will take 12, and the one next to Alessia will take the full 24.
Always does a number on my crops. That hail. Alessio, I know you get whacked, but you're still in things. We need you out there. And that is Bardic Inspiration from a bonus action on Alessio.
Okay, so last legendary action. The dragon will attempt to swipe at is it a tail? Yeah, it has hit it with its tail. At the rock, a 20 will hit, dealing 23 bludgeoning damage. That is rock 2, correct? Oh!
Mhm.
Rock 2 falls to the... Ice Storm is continuing, isn't it? Put it to the back.
I mean, it's really its duration is instantaneous, so that's. Yeah, I think the idea is that the ice goes, and then all these hailstones are lying on the ground.
Okay, how long does the difficult terrain
Run it
last?
however you like, just to the end of my next turn.
Oh, okay.
But that
That's
part
fine.
is still.
I'm
in
gonna
effect,
say that it's
theoretically.
I'm gonna say from the sky, but for a round. Yeah, cool. That's fine. That's great. Okay, that brings us to this rock over here, who flies up and swipes at the dragon. Is incapable of grappling the dragon. Oh dear, oh dear. That is a 20 and a crit. Dragon
Oh shit.
dealing 22 and 62 damage to the dragon. Our dragon is severely wounded. That's not good. That brings us to Alessio. Alessio, this creature has sort of been hit and dropped you, and it's fallen back to the ground in front of you as you are floating down and also landed on the ground.
How rough does it look?
The one next to you?
Yeah, because I noticed there's a
Hurt,
red
but-
thing next to it.
Yeah, it's injured, but it arrived fairly injured. So, by your estimation, you are incapable of killing it this round, but your friends might kill it before it kills you, maybe.
That's not my concern. My concern is whether I can kill it or not.
Not in one go, you don't think? As in one hit.
So I'm going to use a precision attack on all of the following attacks.
Okay. What does that
That's
do?
a 19 to hit, which I believe is a critical because of one of my feats.
What is a precision attack?
Oh, it's a Battlemaster maneuver. When I hit, I can add the die to the damage.
Am I not seeing this on your sheet?
I just send it on. Oh, that sent a lot of them.
Oh, I see.
So I actually replaced the brace
fine.
maneuver when I leveled up. Yeah.
A superior item. Yeah, cool, great. Okay, and why is a 19 a crit? Oh,
I
you don't
thought
mean it's a. You don't mean it's a 19 to hit. You mean it's a 19 on the dice, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I thought it
Okay.
was a crit for some reason, but I'm probably wrong because I don't have a note of it. So that's just a 19 to hit.
I haven't got you getting a 19, critting on a 19 at the moment. Cool. Where's my encounter builder? Yeah, cool. Back to it. Yeah, so 28 will hit. Damage is.
Anyways, that's not a concern because I'm actually going to use my proficient attacker to make it once per day critical hit.
Okay, cool.
And I want to check something with you. The spear, do I need to use my bonus action every single turn to activate it? Or
No, it
once per
lasts a minute.
combat? Fantastic. So that
Yes.
is critical damage there. that rolled
Yeah, and you need to roll
correctly.
2d4 as well. The psychic.
That didn't roll 46. I'm just going to roll it manually. Sorry, guys. Plus.
I didn't see the renaming. I thought it just rolled a new type of damage called Felicity damage.
So that's a total of 33 damage, including the weapon damage, the bonus damage, and the Battlemaster maneuver.
You seem to have added the psychic damage twice. It's only an additional 1d4 on the original
Oh.
hit, right?
So
that's
let's-
fine. We just take out the 2 and the 2 and the 4. The minus 6 is 27. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. The
Extra
creature is
attack.
severely wounded.
Extra attack.
Okay.
Scarred.
That is an 18 to hit.
That'll hit. This is another hit with the spear, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's an additional 8 damage. Wait.
11.
No, that's
11.
11.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't see the roll 20. And then I'm gonna use my bonus action to strike it with an offhand dagger.
Okay. Why a dagger? You don't want to hit it with like a trident of fish come out or something? Oh, you can't yet, can you? Do you have 2 weapon fighting?
I do. I'll hit
Yeah,
it with
yeah.
a longsword. I'll hit it with a longsword, actually.
Do you have 2 weapon fighting? I'm not seeing it.
I do.
Sorry,
It's
I don't
one of
mean that.
my-
Dual wielder is what you needed. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
knew it
does,
was
I
a
think.
feat. You have dual wielder, yes.
13 to hit.
That'll miss.
Action surge. 2 more
Okay, cool.
attacks.
Yeah.
Sick.
Let's go.
Nat 20.
Nice.
That's a
Go on,
precision
Felicity.
attack as well.
Yeah, I don't know what that... Doesn't that just mean it's an extra d8 to hit?
Yes. No,
That's
it's
a 30.
an extra. I believe it's an extra d8 to the damage. No.
No. When you make a weapon attack roll, you can add a d8.
I took the wrong one. All right.
Yeah.
I need to change that. later.
Ironically, I think disarming attack would give you an extra d8 on the damage, even though you wouldn't be able to disarm a rock because it's not holding any weapons.
Could I use that instead, please?
Sure. Go ahead and throw a 2d8 on it.
So that's an additional 27 damage.
46, 2d4, 2d8. There's no modifier on that. What's your strength modifier?
It's 5.
5. Okay, so it's 32 damage.
Yep.
Okay, the creature's nearly dead!
Another
Oh,
attack.
that's good. Yeah.
That is a 15 to hit.
A 15 will hit!
Ooh.
Oh.
Go ahead. Need a little bit of damage.
And I will use my final disarming attack to add an additional d8 to that for 21 damage.
Why is it... Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
The disarming
Yeah,
attack.
21 in total, not 21 on the disarm. Well,
That
that
is
is enough. As you hit this creature, please describe its grisly demise.
So you see Alessio like piercing with the spear, stabbing it with the dagger, and then going at it with the spear again and again and again. He takes a little breath through the fight, looks over at everybody else, and then action surges and goes, "Here we go," and starts spearing it again and again until it plummets down to the floor. Torin, I am coming for you. Hold steady.
Nice.
That's my turn.
So that's action, bonus action. Any movement? You can move freely now, right?
I'm actually going to go here just so I can get some cover from behind this rock.
Okay, you're on the ground still, yeah?
Yeah, I want to go behind the rock. Would
Okay.
that give me full cover?
From a ranged attack. I don't know what you're expecting the. I don't know what you're expecting the bird to throw at you.
It's just so I can heal and get back
Yes,
into help.
yeah,
Torin.
it looks like a defensible position. The dragon will claw. Oh, maybe. Let's see whether it will. Ah, no, it won't. It will blast. Torin. I need a dex save, I'm afraid. He's
God,
not
what
paying
is
Not a
that?
problem.
a huge amount of attention. He's expecting you to be as immune to fire as he is.
24.
Basically. 24, great. Yeah, so you will take half of 63 fire damage, half again because you're resistant to fire.
Correct.
Bringing it down to 15
30.
fire damage.
15. Okay.
Which, in all honesty, Torin, this feels empowering. Yeah, you feel pretty awesome. And yeah, the rock also takes some damage. And as you go to strike Torin, your first hit, you may add a d8 of fire damage.
Oh,
Because
very
your sword
cool.
is aflame with the breath of the dragon.
Well, in that case, I will
And it's your
dive
turn.
bomb towards the so I'll dive bomb towards the rock
Beautiful.
and
Yeah, I mean, technically, you'll dive. You'll
dive
parallel
towarding.
flying. Yes,
Dive towarding.
because you're all 30 feet in the air at this point.
So that's a 23 for the first
Ah,
attack.
the Fang of Bahamut hits hard. Strike away.
Indeed.
You don't forget your d8 of fire.
Yes, so I will add the d8 of fire. And let's pump level 1 smite into that. Very nice. And then second attack.
Can I have some damage? Oh, you
Oh,
wanted me to
sorry.
add the numbers on the screen.
Sorry,
okay, that's
sorry,
fine.
I got it. No, no.
16,
Yeah,
20, 31.
15, well,
Got it.
15, 16, yeah.
31. Okay.
31 on that first attack. Then we will do a second hit. Oh wait, I already rolled the second attack.
That's
didn't
fine. Yeah, you're 18 hit. I just
Okay,
need
so
damage.
we'll say the 18 hit.
Yeah,
This
18
one
hit.
won't get the extra d8,
No.
right?
No. So we'll do 13. Any smitting?
Yeah, I'll do another level 1 smite. Alrighty.
Oh, nice hit. Yeah.
And then for my second round here.
We'll lay on hands a dragon.
I was thinking about it.
How many times are you going to get to lay on hands a dragon in this campaign? I think it might be
That's
once.
true. That's true. All right, in that case, I'll sort of flit around in between dragon and thing, and as I'm passing by him, I'll brush the dragon's wing.
I am invigorated, little dragon!
Yeah, I'll give him 40. I'll give him all of it. Why not?
Oh, he loves that. And with that, he'll take his legendary action to rip down at this creature. Admittedly, it's actually a tail attack, but it sounds less cool. Oh, that's a natural 20. He's invigorated by your power!
Yes.
Away. He strikes for 33 slashing damage. He's feeling pretty cool about that, but it's the end of his turn, your turn, and it is... Oh, sorry, bonus action? Any bonus action? Sorry, I should have let you do that earlier.
I do have a bonus action. I was going to save it for the end. I was thinking about compelled dueling, but now that I've healed the dragon, I think he's okay.
Yeah,
We've
He's no longer severely wounded, he's only wounded.
yeah, that's fine.
Cool, Sebastian, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna move over here, and then I'm gonna throw another prismatic orb.
Oh, he loves that. Give him some damage.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Alright.
Sorry. And bye, guys. Get in the
20 on the floor.
That 20!
Nat 20!
20.
Sick. Love that. Damage type, please.
Oh, wait, I need to roll a d8.
Yeah. This could be very impactful.
Oh, it could be very not if I get an effect instead of damage.
Yes, indeed. A nat 20 blind.
Oh yeah.
I got
Definitely
an 8, which means I get to roll twice.
Nice. Love that.
No.
There's a 3, which is yellow, so one's gonna be lightning, and then the other one's a 1, so the other one's gonna be fire.
Okay,
So
well, just to make your life really easy, roll me the lightning with the crit damage. He is immune to fire and vulnerable to lightning damage, so it's actually worked out exactly as normal.
It's 51.
102 lightning damage.
No.
No, well, no, it's not, because the fire damage would have been... Yeah, okay, never mind. I'd already accounted for that. Yeah, but still, 51... Well, it's more than enough. Please describe its grisly demise.
Oh, okay. So, you just see Sebastian, like, because obviously he's got his staff, so in one paw, just like a ball of purple lightning begins to grow and grow, and then it disappears and then reappears on top of, like, above the bird, and then just crashes into it, plummeting the bird to the ground.
As the creature dies, you see the dragons sort of look round to you. What a small creature. You hit with mighty blows.
I'll reply back in Draconic. Well, we can't all be giant beasts like you, swiping people with our tail, and I'll, like, cheekishly, like, sway my tail back and forth.
Ah, no, you can't. And then he steps over to the rock that he killed, and he puts his claw on it. My kill. And you see he is claiming the meat, right? Because, I mean, you guys weren't going to eat rock, but he is. Yeah, as you can, mighty, strong and powerful and cool, or perhaps regardless, dragon will look to you all, and specifically to Torrens. I am indebted to you, little brothers. Thank you for coming to my aid.
Well, anything for a golden dragon. You are a noble and magnificent beast.
You share my skin. Appreciate it.
Aye, we are kin.
Might I impress upon you another request?
Anything.
It might take you some time to travel. I don't know how fast you can journey, though your wings seem effective for such a small size.
Well, normally I do not have these.
Moments later, they vanish because fly only lasts a minute. Oh! It is magic, I see. Well, I don't know how fast you can travel, but... to the southeast. Oh, this is going to go... How annoying. Got like some weird boat music going on. I don't even know how to fix that.
That's fine.
Shepherd Flare.
That's nice music.
Yeah, but we've got multiple musics.
Oh.
Yeah. I hate this game. I need the world map for like 5 seconds. Let's get the world map. And he will tell you over far to the east. To the southeast. Okay, I can't cover. Over here.
Like here or here?
Over here. Shut that up. And yes. Stop doing that. No.
Sorry.
Save. Oh, no, we're going back again. I really don't know where this noise is coming from, but it's really annoying me. Have the theme. We'll chill. Perfect! Over to the east, so there is a little east of the watering hole. Southeast of the watering hole. Some of my brethren are attacked. They have been landed.
Who dare attack? Who dare attack the dragons?
Not who, but what? We were bathing in the sand as we do. Hot summer. Allowing our scales to be polished by the sand when the ground rose up. Pulled us down.
Yes, we've had experience with this. Panic. Can you enlighten the great dragon here?
Well, it does seem as though, much as it pains me to admit it, the land itself has been attacking folk all over. We've heard in this region just of recently of a village being swallowed up, and well, we're traveling, in fact, to see if the elves have any way around it. That seems to be not affecting them quite as badly, but I don't know what we can do directly at this point.
The elves do know much, as they are best to be asked. I don't suppose if you pass by that way, you humanoids with your clever tools might attempt to assist in digging my brethren out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you mean they're under the sand, or do you mean like they're underground?
Both of those things are the same thing.
No, because like in the desert, it's not just sand until you get to the center of the earth, right?
Who knows? Have you been under the desert? You would assume that it is a vast quantity of sand, but it may indeed be some rock as well. But smaller rocks, right? They're not permanently stuck cast in rock, but they're buried too deep to get out.
Can they breathe?
My brethren have magic that will allow them to survive in there. It pains me to admit, but I had to take on a form much like your own, and he gestures towards Ciran, to escape the sands, to seek aid of humans. We came to Draken Corrin once. We were worshipped here by many humans. But there was no one here but you. And I was harried by these creatures, these predatory birds, carrion pecking bastards. Now the humans I have found, so you're the humans I must request aid of. These... And he gestures with his wing towards Kiavo. Those like you, they speak not my tongue. I could not make myself understood in their city. And they thought I was attacking, and they shot pecking little arrows at me.
Well, you are
like something they would do.
You are safe with us, great dragon.
Indeed, little brother, I felt invigorated by your magic.
Yes, join us.
Join you? I think not. I have further to journey. Back to our homeland. Perhaps once again, those of your kin must ride dragons. Or your magic.
So the stories are true.
Already, some do this? Questions you.
I've heard of rumors.
If there are any that are worthy, they will be north, in Izarada.
I wish to join you one day.
I will travel to Izarada and seek those who know of our ways from times of old. If they still have the magics, then they are worthy of ridings. We take them into battle. But how do we battle the land? This I do not know.
Well, this is something that we are attempting to investigate ourselves.
Of course you are. A worthy cause you must have. To share skin with mine. With I. Well. If it is not improper to ask you so, might I eat in peace? He sort of leans down towards the rock. Basically, he means I'm fucking wounded, let me sleep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
sure.
if those of you
I'll
would
bow
like
to him.
would like to harvest your own kills, the rocks do have some harvestable things. If you wish to give me a harvestable
Absolutely.
check, hunting
Can I
and
help
gathering
anyone?
check.
You want a survival, hunting, gathering?
Give me a hunting gathering check with advantage as Alessio assists you with his brute strength.
I don't even need to.
Yes.
Oh, nat the fucking 20. Yeah, I love that. Bear with me. I'm waiting for loading screens again. God, the number of tabs I've needed this session are absolutely ridiculous. I should get in the habit of closing them when I'm finished with them, but then I get to it really annoys me if I then need to reopen them. So technically it's not an eagle, but you may add 6 eagle's feathers.
Ooh.
As it is similar. Big feather.
May I keep one for myself, Turin? I wish to remember the day I fought the giant eagles.
Yeah, but of course. One
Nice.
for each of them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can I have one too?
I think we'll give 6 to Torin, and then as long as you guys promise not to use them in crafting, you can each take one as well.
Yes.
You will be able to take. The it's here somewhere. Unrefined hide. You can take 2 of those if you wish. If you cut some of its skin away. And something else. Something that doesn't seem quite the same. You may take a feather token.
I have one of these.
You have a tree, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have a feather token.
Yes, but which one? I think you have a tree one,
know,
right? You have feather
there's
token
so many-
tree.
Which one is this one, you said?
Feather token bird, obviously.
Bird, of course.
Oh, so mine prevents me from falling at a certain height. What does this one do?
That's a feather fall token.
That's a feather
token,
fall
is it?
token. This is a feather token.
So this one seems to
Oh, that's the one I have. Yeah, feather fall token.
summon a friggin' rock, I guess.
What?
Crazy.
Not quite. It's a little more like a. Yes, it is. It summons a rock. It's a bit like a parrot. In sight.
An enormous multicolored bird.
Yes,
Statistics of a
it will
rock.
not fight with you. But
It's like
it
a
will
transport
fly
bird.
you. It's a transport bird. One feather
I
token
have the
bird.
tree one.
It is a single. Oh yes, you do. It's a single usage.
We can finally get to Mount Mordor.
Mordor.
But with that victorious moment, as each of you collects your feather as a memoir, and once again, sort of Renkus, who left off the boat first, sort of stumbles into the area, and then he goes to say something to you, and instead just bows to the golden dragon and down. And you see that the golden dragon sort of looks at this green dragonborn, and then looks to Torin. You call him friend?
Aye. We are kin.
I will stay my claw then. He sort of scrapes it backwards and... I've heard that you are not as evil as the dragons you are descended from.
In my experience, this is true. Great dragon.
Well. And then he sort of stamps his claw on the rock again and says, "My kill!" And with that, Renka sort of bows multiple times and thank you, sir. And, you know, very admiring of this golden dragonborn. And then, you guys are able to get back to the boat, or perhaps wander Drakencorin. I think we'll pick up at Drakencorin itself, the monument, next session. But I have many a gift today to give out.
Ooh.
Shit.
Alessio, you are now proficient in performance.
Oh my god, this is like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Hennick, through your learning with Chiavo, you are now proficient in Arcana.
Wow.
Full proficient as opposed to
Very
your half proficient.
nice.
Torin, your intellect has risen. The friends of those who teach you well. Mostly in battle, but somewhat in other things as well. You may raise your intelligence by 1.
Nice.
And Chiavo. Oh god, where have I written this down? No, Chiavo, I can't find it. I have it somewhere. See if I can remember what it was. I gave you a point in calligraphy, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I've written that down. That's it, I think. You just got a point in calligraphy today. I'm afraid it's nothing.
That point in
too-
alchemy as well for the superior potions.
You got your potion in alchemy, didn't you?
I've got
Okay,
two
I have
potions.
both. I have both written down. 1 in alchemy, 1 in calligraphy. So yes,
Oh,
you
in
should have
that
gave
case, I
one
need
of
to
those.
add one to my alchemy, bringing it up to 4, right?
Yeah. Sebastian, you get a point in tea making, but in not the skill, right? You need to put it in your notes. Say tea making 1. Yeah. It's notes other, I think.
Why?
Why? What you mean?
How
Why?
the artisan tool like level system.
What do you
I
mean
have
by
it
why?
because I have it as a skill.
But
Yes.
each level doesn't equal a plus on
A
the
point
skill.
in the skill does not equal a point in the level does not equal a point in the skill. So in your notes, other, just raise your tea making. It allows you to learn more recipes, and later on, it will increase the skill. Basically, it's the potential of what you are capable of. And you may take DM inspiration for your mighty blow on the rock. That's one of the coolest Rin's prismatic orbs we've seen. So congratulations on that. Hennick, did I give you your Arcana?
Yep, I'm up to a plus
Okay,
0.
Great. Okay, fantastic. So there's a lot of things here. And Torin and Alessio, you've got nothing for this today, but you have began the journey towards Bonded Sea. As you begin to fight together in combat. From now onwards, if you are either side of an enemy, one of you will always have the flanking. That is exacerbated in the feat Bonded Soul. So once you get to Bonded Soul, that'll.
Does it come with like an amazing +2 to AC? No.
No, it
Sorry,
comes with
had to
it's
ask.
a +10 to AC. Yeah, is it fun?
Seriously?
No.
Are
You
you
get
joking?
nothing. Yeah, of course I'm joking.
Oh.
You get nothing.
Plus
Anyway. But yeah, with that, we'll come to the timeless
naive.
tradition of MVPs. And I believe I need order. I finished with Josh. So that is where I'll start. Josh, your MVP.
My MVP is the market/bazaar. I thought it was really cool and a nice look into another culture.
You enjoyed it.
yeah.
Cool. Jamal.
I'm gonna have to go with the whole ritual casting of the stone monuments thing, and the whole idea of being impressed by it, and then like, oh, I'm sure we can do that. We're not clerics.
No, you are
Oops.
not clerics. But you have seen what
Shame.
perhaps you and Hennick combining. You can still do great things
yeah.
combining your magics. It's just
It's
you
not
can't-
quite the same
yeah,
things.
you can't ritual cast the same spell together. Yeah, Rico.
Well, obviously it's got to go to the bromance, the budding bromance between Torin and Alessio for sure. The sparring
Such a
session was
sweet
great.
moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And but I will also throw a small shout out to the fact that we just watched these Leonin do like 20 minutes of like work and then took a break by the Chocha cooler,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah.
It was just so evocative of real life.
It is
Doing a
done.
solid 20 minutes of work and being like, all right, now I need a break.
Joe.
I mean, McPherson is a nickname?
Oh, you got mine!
What
You stole mine!
What?
Yeah, this was so beautiful.
I
It's-
was
it's-
barely listening, and then it was just like
He was like, I gained my name in battle. And I was like, oh, what name did you gain? He was like, McPherson. I was like,
McPherson. What is that?
Our party ritual cast facepalm at that moment.
The terrible McPherson. You were such a McPherson in that battle.
It's because
Ridiculous.
it's because his last name is Mac, and he was without fear, so they called him
Oh.
McPherson.
But
Oh,
it's
dear.
spelled like a normal.
Yeah, it's all wrong. It's all wrong, and it's
He
beautiful.
never learned how to spell it because he doesn't know how to write like that.
I love it.
Might as well have the first
Macfear.
name Fark, which is my other.
Park.
Leave me
Also,
alone.
yeah. Fuck.
Leave me alone. I was halfway
totally
between two people. Poor Pearl. Yeah, I had a couple. I absolutely
Oh,
loved
Bruno.
Oh, sorry, Bruno. Yeah, I thought I started with you. I didn't. Bruno, you're MVP.
I did not realize that McPherson's last name / nickname was gonna be this like such a reaction. So I thought it was quite funny. I enjoyed that from Henrik.
Subplot.
But obviously, I love combat. I'm playing a fighter. That's where they shine. I say this every session. I can't wait to be able to live more than 2 rounds in combat in the long future. But I also enjoyed the bazaar, and there was a specific part in the bazaar I don't remember now, but I really liked it, and there was a little moment that was there. I forgot about it now. But also, of course, the little bromance between Alessio and Torin is so cute. I would have not expected it. So it's nice to see, and it's nice to see Sebastian being mischievous as fuck.
Yeah, I've got a few. I really loved that Alessio bought gifts for Torin, and then the way Torin wrapping the dog tags around his sword was really, that was really fun. I loved Henrik buying slave clothing. That was beautiful. And how on board you guys were with buckets of sand and cups of water. Love that. I always love some commitment to the strangeness that I present. So that was really beautiful to witness. We've got to give a shout out to Sebastian going yawn and throwing crystals off the edge of the boat.
Oh my
Just
fucking
pay for
god.
them. Everybody else just like, no! in the moment. But it was so Sebastian. And our endless journey towards great power in very, 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 very small steps. We made a stone that casts sending in a week. Good job, guys.
Amazing.
With that is where we will end. If you guys would like
Made
to say
something.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
I know.
Bye.
we
Until
shall
next
see you soon.
successful creation.
No!